Or the
it knows exactly what weapon to use, where, when. It's terrifying. Yeah, Skynet, I see that. Rank 9092, Ryan K, 9092, Skynet equals Maven. Yeah, I think that it's like maybe Skynet 1.0, but hopefully it won't go rogue. Guys, it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the big boys, they're over here. You want to leave them off with anything?
Yeah, well, a great session here, guys. I hope everyone had a fantastic Monday. It wasn't so manic after all. Katina Man, check this short out here on AMD. Pop. We're still sitting in a little bit, not much left there, but a nice little short on AMD. That is going to probably be it for the remainder of the session.
Big boys that way.
Welcome. That's what I was saying. Yeah, we're just talking about the MLB opening up this week. So
well, these guys were talking about the betting markets or the prediction markets, and I was sort of curious what the odds are. There's this dude plays for, I think he's on Baltimore right now, and he holds the record for home runs on opening day in consecutive years.
It's just such a crazy stat.
It's like 6 years in a row the guy's gone yard.
He's not even like a home run hitter.
He's not a star player. He's a good. He's. I
mean, he's obviously good. He's in the Major League Baseball.
He's got some pop. He's in the bigs. He's had a couple of good years. But like, I want to see what the odds are on that guy because you can bet on pretty much anything. And I was just double checking. You know what's interesting? Like right now, I was actually looking at Palantir because the boys were just talking about this, and you have the market. I got to be honest, not doing as much as you would think. Like we start out with such a crazy move in the pre-market on this Trump headline or the President Trump headline or Truth Post, I suppose, and we've just been slowly like gliding down, if anything. And we're now back above VWAP, and as the market gets above VWAP, it's like, okay, well, what is relatively strong? Well, Palantir stands out like a sore thumb.
I just tried to go short.
What also stands out a little bit is Bitcoin is trying to hold over VWAP. That's looking a little bit spicy here. Energy's slowed down, but under VWAP and still looking weak. There could be some short opportunities there. But there's a few names that are moving around that should make it interesting for us. So we'll have a rundown, be a little bit locked and loaded and ready to go. But when the market slows down like this, I think oftentimes trying to find a few names that are relatively strong or weaker than the overall market can be the way to go. Weakness, I'm looking at you, Intel.
Yeah, I just right now I'll just go short. I haven't done anything all afternoon. Someone said, was I still in this trade? No. We remember we had 10% left. And we put it out if we were going to break 111, so it does do that. I mean, some of these covers are ridiculous. Like this was 106 down there on USO. Our short started at 112, so it was just like, okay, let's cover that. Maybe it was a 200 period break, I don't know, but we got out there. I think it was 111 was what I was looking at. Just sort of that shelf that we fell off of right there. Wow, that was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad that we were able to sit here with you guys and trade this during the morning show. I don't know if the guys in the afternoon put on any oil trades or whatever they did, but yeah, so right now downside for USO down over 9% today, and the actual contract itself is right here. Here's the June. Am I in the right one? April, May, June. Yeah, okay. So April's over with. Sorry, it's March. Hold on a second. CL, is that right? The right price? I'm not sure this is the right one. J. So J is April. Okay, so HIJ. K, May. All right, let me see what's going on. That's what I just had.
500,000.
Isn't that what I just had up, or did I have M? It doesn't matter. Anyways, okay. Who cares? Now we got it down 9.5%. That's why I thought I was like a little light there. So yeah, good move there. Just hearing that there was some more drones being fired off here today, which is actually why I thought about going short TQQs, but I think there's maybe just too many good feels right now in this market. I started it there at the 200. I'll take a little bit more at VWAP at 10, and then I'm gonna be out, man. If we break 20s right into here, we break that high. Not that it's just a shelf. I'm not really focused on that. Remember, this is a levered play. This is not the NASDAQ itself. This is a levered ETF. So, you could easily rip and rock through any of these levels. Not a big deal, but I will use VWAP there as well. And here's the futures. Took out VWAP. And remember, just starting at a different time. So this is on a 1-minute chart for the TQQ. So I'm trying to watch out to see what we're doing right here. Here it is on a 5-minute chart on E-signal. So just coming into a possible short area as well on our TQQs. So I'm going to go short on the NASDAQ right here just to see what happens this afternoon and average it in if we get something at 45.10 and then out at 45.20. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one here this afternoon, I would think. Gold's moving around, the market's moving. Everything is going. So, yeah, it looks like that should be the right contract. You guys tell me if it's not.
Yeah.
Some news about OpenAI, I guess. I don't know if Microsoft started doing anything. OpenAI was starting to do. Adair, I heard her bring the story about Dropbox, so file attachments and storage. Now on the OpenAI ChatGPT there that sent Dropbox to the downside. Microsoft just kind of doing what the market's doing today, upside, but not upside like the market is, 0.3 versus 1.57. What goes boom in the morning was Tesla there. Huge move right there, right off the open. It didn't stop until about 11 o'clock. You know, we went a little sideways, but we just kept on buying dips. And eventually right there at 11:11, it started to make the move down again. So we're trying to get going again on Tesla. 11. And I call Pizza. Hey. Those of you in Canada know Pizza. There's a...
You know.
Yeah, their phone number is 967-1111.
That was one of those... Like, there's a few commercials from the back in the day.
Yeah, it's hard to forget those.
I'll never forget that commercial. It is, I don't know. And Pizza wasn't even that big of a deal for us. It's weird. Like, I don't think we...
Pizza? No, the thing about Pizza is it's just for everybody out there. It's like your Papa John's or Domino's. It's Canadian. And it's like when your school does pizza parties, it's pizza.
Always pizza.
When you go to like somebody's birthday party, it seems to always be pizza.
So
it's like the most generic.
I didn't like it because...
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I never wanted pizza because...
It's like, it's not, like their sauce is not spicy. Like it's the most like, you know, sort of Canadianized pizza version out there.
Yeah, you know what? And Cat Molfar in the chat just said it sucks. Well, I think that's the thing. If you're going to try to appeal to literally everybody, you'll end up with something which is bland and boring sometimes. And that's just how it is. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, back to brass tacks. My eyeballs are on Intel. I actually left you guys going long off of VWAP, and then it broke trend, like right here. So broke the trend, now downside. Opening range low is resistance at 44 and a third or so. And who put that chat up? So I'm looking basically relative weakness here, so I want to be short this. I like this poll. I just saw this here. What ticker are you most bullish on? MU, Tesla, NVIDIA, or SAT-L?
I'm just going to put a bid out. There's something going on right now, Neil.
I haven't heard anything. I just saw a shoot to the downside here.
Yeah, here it is.
What's it?
It's I thought it was Iran. Did you see that on Twitter? It's
no.
It was something about U.S. debating sending troops to Iran because there was some Iraq. There was some strikes. I'm just going to wait. See, it's right here. U.S. air defense shoot down explosive drone over U.S. consulate in Iraq. It's just on Benzinga, one of the stories there. We try to put up the news stories if we get it. And unfortunately,
I didn't see it on X.
Yeah, it's tough. Okay, you have it? Yeah, it's not. Oh, here's one story. I'll send this. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but there it is. So maybe there's starting to pick up a little bit again. I'm not sure. It's so funny how we have that whole, what was that, April 9th you mentioned there is now a date?
Like a new deadline that they have effectively.
Okay, maybe that's old news. Okay. Anyways, all right, well, I don't know what that was. It wasn't that much of a move. It's just all of a sudden we just went short right there and we got our 50-period moving average. So we went short at O's or 95s and we just got 75 and 70. So not too bad. Yeah, anytime there's a super chat, just throw it up there, man. We'll see it, Andre. No problem. Most popular things for next 3 months will be fast food, drinks, and travel services. Fast food drinks? Oh, fast food drinks.
Fast food.
So does that mean like Monster beverages, or you mean Pepsi, or what do you mean, Coke, or in travel services? I think is what you're getting at there, Satoshi, there, is the fact that if travel, I guess, picks up, is that what you're thinking? Like, if people are traveling, they eat more fast food. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if that correlation is.
If that's going, I mean, what about Uber?
If travel's coming back, I think one of the first places to look for. You would have seen it even today. I know we're going to go to Strait. Like, look at some of the, look at Carnival, look at Norwegian. Like, Carnival's up 6 points, although not looking that great off of VWAP here. But these guys have been getting beaten up, and they managed to hold the low, and they're trying to break back out. So I always kind of, looking for the trade, find those beat up names that can go parabolic. They tend to have good short floats in most of these names, so I kind of like those over there. But You have me at the soft drinks. I'm not sure why we're going to be bullish there. The GLPs have been sort of taking a dent out of those.
Well, and plus, like fast food soft drinks exactly are generally pretty sugary, and we do know that what's his name, RFK there wants to basically eliminate all that, which is good for him. I think it's nothing wrong with that.
I don't drink pop anymore. I haven't really in years. Like every now and then I might with like a mixed drink or something like that.
Yeah.
But yesterday my daughter wanted, we were ordering in and she wanted A&W, which is like her thing lately. And so they sent us a couple of extra
root beers
in our order. So like there was a full like chicken fingers and fries and a large root beer that was just in the order. My wife didn't want it, and Aaron just likes iced tea. So
and the root beer is pretty sweet.
A root beer.
Like a lot of sugar, I would think.
Well, I had like 2 sips. I'm like, this is so good. I'm like, I can't do this. Like immediately, like I can't do it. It was too sweet.
That's the problem.
Because if you don't drink pop, you realize how much you can't handle it. So I know we're gonna go straight for a quick little second. I just jumped in Intel. I'm going to give it to this local high here on the 3-minute. It's about the third. Uh-oh. It looks like we just broke down. Ooh, might have missed an opportunity. Boyle just broke down. Flat bottom break in Boyle. I might try to rejoin this at some point. Yep, there it goes. Now it's just starting to accelerate. Might have to short the pops in Boyle again as that's heading back into the downside. So let us know when you're ready. I think we have a thumbs up there for Sharif. We're locked and loaded. Let's see what is in the afternoon rundown.
Welcome, everyone, to the afternoon rundown, the show you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, Neil and Sean, they are locked and they are loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on this afternoon rundown is to join us in the chat wherever you are. We're talking Twitch, Kick, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere else that we're live. Make sure to follow, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to vote, guys. You got to throw in that $sign, though, before you vote, and whatever ticker of your choice. Just before we go on to the first rundown here, the New York Times is reporting that Pentagon officials are officially weighing the deployment of air troops in Iran. Separately, Iran's Revolutionary Guard spokesman says there's no need to mine the Strait of Hormuz as Iranian armed forces have, quote, full control. He states, based on necessity, Iran will use any capabilities to provide security. That came out about 5 minutes ago or so, but the Pentagon officials weighing the deployment of air troops in Iran. That is being reported by the New York Times. Let's look at all 4 major averages before we start on the first look over here. All 4 are in positive territory, with the triple Qs up 1.43, the SPY much the same look, up 1.40. The Dow faring pretty well today, 1.7% in the Ville of Green, and the IWM Russell 2000 ETF outperforming all other ETF major averages, up 2 3/4. Tesla, the #1 ticker as decided by you guys, up 3 1/3% on the back of this headline that they are likely to boost their CapEx spending for a chip factory, guys, a fab, but SpaceX and XAI are going to help out, being reported by Barclays.
Yeah, I mean, that fab story, we like it for them. Elon's shown that this is a little bit of a priority, especially when you've got rising costs and being able to lock down that supply when you understand that it's going to be a bit of a concern. When you have all of these ambitions, well, you're not going to have like robots in everybody's houses or Optimus, right? Because that's specifically them. You're not going to have that in everybody's home or like a couple of million homes within a few years if you aren't able to scale up, and the inability to get your chips is going to be a big problem. You've seen that play out. So yeah, I like the story. Did not think that Tesla would have this kind of a run in it. I got maybe 380, but the fact that we're able to push through that 380 mark, which was resistance Thursday and support Thursday, resistance on Friday. The fact we were able to push through was a bit of a surprise this morning. We're struggling with it this afternoon, but you complete the rounded bottom if we're able to hold this, and then we break out tomorrow at 385. So far, so good on this for Tesla. And then if you break that, then we're trying to regain that 200 period moving average, which had been a problem before. So a good first step here for Tesla. It's probably just as much the candle in the morning on that truth has just as much to do with the up move. If not, if we're being honest, probably more than this headline, but it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter why you go up. It doesn't matter why you regain key levels. It just matters that you do. And I think in this particular case, we have a good chance to close over this 380.
Yeah, this morning when the market was up 2% or 1.5%, and Tesla was kind of just started to get going here into the open, the very first trade that I tried to put on, and I put the order in, just it shot up like that's 373 up there in one candle, 376.77. So you get about a $3.50 candle right when the market opened up there, right? So it just kind of like went, okay. And, you know, the order was in, the order went out, didn't get filled. So, you know, just breaking that high, there it goes. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I would have been probably stopped out in and around here, which would have been good for me. That's 381. But let it go, right? Let it go. Probably stopped out a little bit. No, took some more out here, 375. But yeah, Tesla winner today, that's for sure. Anybody that had it. Didn't slow down until 11:11. And then it made that move down, and that's what started that pizza thing, of course. But for right now, it's just, I can't, it's hard to say you like this stock because there's where we were before the Trump tweet, you know, and that was 358. So it's just like the daily on Tesla is not good. As we keep on seeing, you know, higher lows being made, and lower highs being made. So we got a high, you know, there. We just keep on ticking lower. So yeah, I think you'd have to break. Unfortunately, well, it's fortunate or unfortunately, that level there is 420. So if we break that, yeah, we have a little thing for that. I was
wrong one.
Wrong one. That's okay. That's good enough for me. Breaking into there. This is the good one, I think. Weed Batman. We have Weed Batman there. But yeah, that's the level to look at. I mean, Tesla's still in trouble until it isn't. And here we go, man. Nice little move down. Let's see if the TQQs continue their voyage to the south side as we just went short, sort of off VWAP there. We missed VWAP, believe it or not. I can't make the. I mean, I can make it up, but we were sitting here at 10s. It went to 09 half or whatever, dark pools. So we missed that fill there at VWAP. So if it comes back up, we'll try to get it. But there it is. Nice little downside push. We could let me sit here and put a bid at 81s for that fill just because we should. And then we'll let it go. I'm trying to bid 75s, which is basically right here where we got it. We're sitting at 81. Maybe we get that, then lower here on the futures. But all right, Sharif, Tesla is in the books. What's number 2?
Just wanted to update you guys. The U.S. Embassy in Muscat is issuing a shelter-in-place order for Oman. That's vis-a-vis the U.S. Embassy website there separately. CBS News is reporting that a military source has told them that there's no change in plans for deploying thousands more Marines and sailors to the Middle East. I didn't say specifically Iran, just says the Middle East, guys. All right, let's take a look here at Micron, second on the list, down about 4%. No specific negative catalyst today on Micron, but there has been some profit taking after the earnings report today. Wedbush coming out with a note here saying AI memory demand might drive prices up into the triple digits. In any event, Micron not benefiting from that today, down 3.9.
Oh, well, what are they supposed to say? Like, they already had that monster quarter. So that didn't seem to matter. The margins were redonkulous for them, and the growth was huge. What are you going to do? They rejected the all-time high after earnings, and then we've lost that upper channel here, Micron. I think some of this is like sentiment-driven because it's set up pretty good last week to basically take this channel, bounce off the prior channel high, and then make another move. And then today, well, we lost that. So at least the good news is you're holding the 50 period, so that's good. I mean, there's nothing bad about that. But if we lose 400 now, we're back into that channel, you lose 400, then why not expect us to see the bottom end of this channel in the 350 level? So there's a lot of people that have been saying, oh, these memory names, they finally hit their top. I'm not here to tell you whether they have or not. What I can say is, until proven otherwise, it's shown you a temporary top has at least been made, and just a series of lower highs, weak relative to the market in here. And this is all despite a gigantic quarter. So you lose 400 tomorrow, and I think we could see that in the next couple of days, that 350, 360 area. That's where I'd kind of look for some bounce support if 400 isn't going to hold. But if we're right here tomorrow, I mean, 400 is going to look like a flat bottom break for you. For sure. And it's pretty easy to look at it as relative weakness. And the other name that I think a lot of people always associate here, usually if we're looking at one, we're looking at the other. And there's pretty much no distinction between SanDisk and Micron, at least in terms of the chart. They both look pretty weak relative to the market. So there's a temporary top in some of the memory chip names. That being said, betting against them, catching that dip within a week or two has been wrong. Let's see if they can actually buck that trend. But for now, I'd consider them relatively weak until proven otherwise. You got to show it to me.
I just want to say a big shout out to everybody watching on TikTok. Shout out to everybody there over here on TikTok. Let's hit that like button a bunch of times. We'll get that going as well. Want to thank everybody for that. And I just saw somebody on Twitch as well showing up. So thank you, everybody, as we continue to make sure that we're watching all of the chats. And a big shout out to my guy Fabian as well, building us a little chat portal. So thank you, Fabian. Fought at one. We did get that 81 fill there on the Qs. This is almost, remember, this is a levered product on the T-triple-Qs, so not exactly the futures, of course. But maybe we're getting stronger than I think here. Really bouncing off this 50-period moving average. Sometimes a chart can be a tale of two stories, right? And that is like, I'm thinking short because we're hitting VWAP here, but you're tightening up into a range, and you've bounced off the 50-period many times, and we only tested that once there. So I'm a little nervous that we could come back in. I'll still take it again right there, as it looks like we're trying to form like a little bit of a flag pattern here. I mean, it's not really because we came back in, but just seems like there's a wedge, and we could break down here on the T-triple-Qs. So I'm going to hold the short. We obviously have our stops, 45.20, so we're going to give it 10 cents on our next fill as we start to get out a little bit more and more here as we go down. I'm not out of that much, man. I'm out of like 15%, basically 5% each time. So let's see how low we can go over here on the NASDAQ. Okay, let's go back over and see what stock number 3 is.
10%, Sean, is USO in negative territory, and that doesn't even tell the full story because we were positive to start the pre-market. So if you look at that 4 a.m. high to the current price action, we're down 13.75%. Several different headlines. We'll get to a few of them. Global affairs correspondent for Axios, Barak Ravid, he posted on his X that Vice President Vance spoke by phone on Monday morning, that is, with Israeli President or Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and discussed efforts to open negotiations with Iran. That's per source familiar with the matter. The source said Vance and Netanyahu discussed the components of a possible agreement to end the war with Iran. Separately, about 5 minutes ago, Iran's Revolutionary Guard spokesman said there's no need to mine the Strait of Hormuz as the Iranian armed forces have full control. And we know that not that long ago, air defenses shot down an explosive drone over the U.S. consulate in Iraq's Erbil city.
Okay. I just started trading USO immediately. I only have 3 names written down on my sheet today. That's the NASDAQ futures, that's NVIDIA, and USO. We first take this little move early. That's at 9 o'clock, as we thought we had heard more positivity about, the Strait and from President Trump. And we were able to we watched this fall back down in. This is your 25-period moving average, this gray line. So kind of just followed that back in there, shorted it, and got really good. This was a pretty good trade. That short was about 112, and our bid out there is 110. So it was $2. We kept getting out, averaged it back in at the 50-period at the same price, then got stopped out there. And then we just went short again. And this was big-time payment because right at 10:30, it bumped right back into VWAP there. So we just did what we sort of came here to do, and that was to get out. So once that started to drop down in there, came back up to VWAP. We liked those little levels, so we did short that, shorted up there at VWAP, and then it dropped in $4, $5, $6 at one point, believe it or not, and there it goes, just completely cracking lower. Our best filler, that's basically 112.50. This fill down there is 106.70. So we got about $5 and change and we did pretty good, man. We let it drop all the way back in there on USO. And of course, with all the talk, we never know where we're going to go with this name, but so far so good. As we got out there at the break of 11 again, and we do miss that most recent high into there. But was not as clean as this. This sort of ran into it. We also had the 200 period, and we hadn't tested it. So then there's the move down. We kind of broke VWAP there. So that's kind of right into here. It's a little risky short, but definitely paying off. Looks like oil heading to the downside, and you got to like that if you're trading today. You know, I know a lot of us are feeling some of that pain at the pump. So I know Trump was going on talking all about different dates and getting things settled, but didn't seem like it was playing nice from the Iranian side. So we'll have to wait to hear if there is some sort of a ceasefire or not. But right now, oil definitely the trade of the week, the trade of the month, and probably you know, the trade for a long time coming is going to be looking at least at USO or other smaller names like the Battles or the T-Pets of the world or CVX.
There's Oxy and CVX.
Yeah, or there's the actual names or XLE. It just, I feel like, yeah, until we get a little more certainty in all of this, oil will be good for a while.
Yeah, it's just think of it like this. Like, remember when it feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't, when silver, like every single day you'd come in and silver and gold would be the thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, and then sometimes it was like the drone names. Right now, it's you pick your energy name and then roll with it. So, like, I like oil today, but, you know, I'll get to that in a second. Even just technically sometimes, like, I look at this support here from last couple of weeks at that 115 on USO, and all it did is once you lose the support level, it turns into resistance, and you try to keep it simple. I only preferred, when looking at that in hindsight, I only preferred oil today because it was weaker relatively early, and it's been putting in lower highs all morning, all day, I suppose. But I'm going to go back to shorting pops in Boyle. It got like a, hey, that was a fun stop out when I realized I wasn't on the trend line. Still ended up being a good entry. But every single time we've popped in that gas ETF, I think it's going to be worth a shot to try to fade it. We also had there was some chatter from the Chevron CEO where, I mean, effectively he was trying to put some cold water on this drop in oil prices, saying all of the effects haven't been matriculated back into the price. I think he's reiterating some of that for sure. But then you have to keep in mind, well, if you're the CEO of Chevron, you want oil prices to stay higher. But that hasn't really affected things much. I think I'm going to go back to shorting pops this afternoon in Boyle until we're proven otherwise. I think we had a morning where the market was going opposite. Like if we were going down in oil and that gas, then the market was heading up. I think we're seeing right now a little more sideways action in the overall market, despite the fact that you're still trending down in energy. So that connection doesn't seem to be there as much as it was before. Let's see what number 4 is, although I'm looking up. It's one of two things. Either a symbol we know incredibly well, Sean, or
Palantir, I think.
One I've never heard of.
Let's see.
It's the latter, Neil. But before I tell you about that one, Israeli Channel 12 reporting Iran has agreed to freeze its missile project for 5 years. No follow-up on that. Keeping an eye on anything, that's being reported again here. That's by Israel's Channel 12. Next on the list here is UGRO. I didn't have a look at this, guys, during the midday because it was trading below VWAP, but right back above it goes, trying to break through for Urban Go is the name of the company. About a $3 million, a little bit less than $3 million market cap, has about 663,000 share float, very small. And they're moving up big today after announcing that it's in a merger with Sri Lanka's Innovative Production Group, including its portfolio of T20 lead commercial rights, has been completed. So they're looking at getting in, gentlemen, into cricket.
Well, that just happened.
I just, UGR. I was just going to say, I just got out of my, we'll talk about UGR in a second here. I just want to say, I just got out of my futures or the TQ short because of that story. like, I don't, and not that there's anything wrong with reporting, and I think, I'm glad Sharif mentioned it, but if they're agreeing to give some sort of, concession is the word I'm looking for here, by maybe stopping their missile program. I know that's probably not their nuclear program or anything, and I don't know enough about that, but to me, like, that's probably a good thing.
Well, so, even if it's not their nuclear program, that would still inhibit their ability to strike locally within the region. So, like, it's good news regardless. I would think, but I did hear that it was unconfirmed. It's like one news source in Israel, Channel 12. Again, I don't know enough.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows anything?
I can't tell you if it's like Bloomberg with us sometimes. No, but seriously, it's still you would think is good news. I cancel an offer to reload short. It is what it is. But this UGRO.
I don't know why they would do that though.
What are the odds?
I'm gonna try to go again.
Right as we were talking about this name, or as Sharif was discussing this name, It breaks out 4, now at $4.75 here. So it goes 15 to 20%, literally breaking out the high of the day. As we happen to be talking about it, it's probably a coincidence. It seemed like it was falling off, a bit of a technical break in VWAP, UGRO. Look, if you don't know anything about the IPL, then understand that IPL to India is the NFL. Like just whatever, if you understand how popular and gigantic and how much the NFL just owns everything, that's the IPL for cricket in India. It's the league that if you are any good at cricket and you want to get paid, that's where you're going. It's like prominent West Indian players from all across the world. They go there to get paid and play in a professional league. So I think this is a pretty interesting headline. I don't know too much about, who does know too much about some of these stocks? It has done this in the past where you've seen pop and fade several times. So, you usually want to get yourself paid when you have that kind of a circumstance. But it had already made one parabolic move and is now taken out the rest. So the shorts are getting squozed badly, especially through that 420 level. I thought I saw it hit the halt band. I guess it must have reset because it looked like I thought it was going into a halt a little bit earlier. Just a couple of minutes ago, and it must have pulled back just enough to not halt and then reset itself. So just keep an eye. A lot of times you'll go into the halt band. If you can't see it on your level 2, you might not know. We can, and then it'll pop back a little bit here. But this is going crazy. I'm not necessarily I wouldn't chase this or anything. I certainly wouldn't short. You need to get these little consolidation breaks, or just punch long. The second Sharif was talking about it. That would have worked.
Yeah, no, that would have worked pretty good. I did get back in really small there into the TQs. So I was thinking to myself, why would they actually stop their missile program out of the blue right here? That seems to be a little bit more of a concession that Trump or somebody would be tooting their horn on if that was more official. But let's just wait. I'm back into it right now. We did get out pretty conservatively, right? We made money. It's fine. But then we still had basically 70% or 75% left, and I just tapped it out for a penny right there. I'm still going to try to go against VWAP, so let's just try it, but lighter this time. If we're right and the short prints, we should be able to get back into 44.40s or something. So because we're a little lighter, we don't have to scalp out so fast, but we're still going to not make the mistake of averaging in. So I do have a piece at 45.06 just to get small again, and then if we break higher, then we'll get out. So just watching out for this TQQ trade. All right, one more stock, then we can let Sharif go. It's 2:30.
Yes, sir. NVIDIA, Sean, up 2%. Shares were up to start the morning amid a broader market gain following President Trump's pause on Iranian strikes. The company also announced partnerships with major energy firms to develop AI factories, potentially unlocking about 100 gigawatts of U.S. grid capacity. Good look here for NVIDIA, but rejecting that 178 area, boys, back down into 176.15.
I like 174. That's what I wrote down earlier. We didn't. We came into 174 already today, and the reason why I wrote down 174 is pretty simple. Just kind of the closing price that we had there on Friday. I know we had gotten lower than that, but I just wanted to look at this area to see if there was some kind of bunching up here that we could take advantage of. But it never gets there, right? And so NVIDIA today. And it was a tough day for sure to write down your trade ideas with exact prices because we just we had that huge move and we were already down to 171. NVIDIA was getting ready to break that level on the daily, and then Trump tweeted that stuff or truthed that stuff out there. So it's just a matter of trying to let this market settle down. I think we all know that the strength is going to be in chip names. It's just the market needs to turn itself around. And if they can turn themselves around, the market, then I do really like NVIDIA's chances here. You're already up 2% with the market only up 1.5. It is an aggressive play here for NVIDIA, and I think it wins, right? Even a break of VWAP probably gets this thing going. You can see now the market's getting going there. Maybe another headline there, but yeah, this is what I'm saying. There's reports right now that Israeli media reporting Iran will agree to a 5-year freeze on missile program. So I don't, I'm going to get stopped out at 45.20s regardless of this news. So we did stop out. We should have just kept ourselves out of it. We didn't get too much more in, so it's fine. But right now holding on to the short, which the news looks more positive right now than negative for the NASDAQ or for the ES. or for humanity maybe. So far so good here on the way back up. As that news story, we're just going to figure out how legit it is, I guess.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I would consider it positive news, regardless of what you might think. But I just jumped out. I didn't end up reloading and telling canceling the order to reload it, and I'll just jump out of it. But as far as NVIDIA goes, you know what? You can say whatever you want about those that are maybe not as bullish as they were on NVIDIA before. But if you look at the weekly chart, I mean, come on, NVIDIA. 170 on the weekly. Look at all the wick bottoms that hold 170. It's the 50 period on the weekly as well. And on the daily, if I just throw out this line, and this line isn't in the chart, all you see is buyers at 170. I don't care who's buying at 170. Is Jensen buying his own stock? It doesn't matter. Is Sean picking it up at 170 every single day? I have no idea. But somebody is. Michael Burry? Probably not, because he bets against AI. But at the same time, we are holding the same level over and over and over again. It's been holding since August of last year. And until it gets broken, all that's happening is NVIDIA, think about this. If the price is going nowhere and NVIDIA keeps beating on earnings, what's happening to the stock? It's getting cheaper. It's getting cheaper and cheaper from a fundamental basis. So there's only, in my mind, how else can this resolve except continuous beats over and over again and the stock's not going, or eventually I think you break up. If nothing breaks here,
it's going to go live, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to break. It's got to break up. So I keep looking at this and saying, eventually we're going to break away. And each quarter that we continue to have strong numbers from NVIDIA, it just gets better and better. Adair?
We have Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel confirming that he did have a call with President Trump. So it looks like we heard those reports of was there or was there not any kind of conversation here with President Trump and Iran. Now we're having Netanyahu confirming there was a call with Trump. Again, the timing of this call is unclear. If I get more details, I'll let you know. Also seeing an Amazon headline here, guys. AMZN on watch. Amazon's Leo reportedly going to be accelerating their satellite production and launch cadence. Back to you.
He thought it was me. Okay, here we go, man. We got into so I just said, you know what, futures, man, peace. Because we got stopped out of that one, obviously, as quick as you like there. And I just went right over to the topic, or the stock that we were just talking about, NVIDIA. It broke through VWAP. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go long on VWAP there. It's 176.60. I mean, we are definitely longer than that, in a worse price than that. But I was fine taking it. I'm actually on purpose doing this. Like, I think if we break through 176 down here, that's where we can get out. So let's not panic and get out of this ASAP. Let's just wait to see how far we can go. I always take something like that. That went right to O's. So we got out at 95 there. I'm always going to take something out, when we're at that level. I do think that an area for me to look at here for NVIDIA, I mean, the market has to go. So that's the first part. And if it doesn't, then we have our stop. But what about into here, 177.50, something like that for a spot for NVIDIA? I think that would be reasonable. So let's see if we can get back up there. We still got a ways to go before we get anywhere near that level right now. Yeah, we can definitely throw up the super chats.
We got Danny Boy's Bear Market Bingo. Love the name. I feel like, hey, Danny's Boy, you seem to change it once a week. So I don't know. Let's get something fresh and fun. You always have good names.
Yeah.
On the precious metal front, starting April 1st, Indian mutual funds will allow investors to acquire up to 35% exposure to gold. We know that is a place where there's a lot of interest in gold. That doesn't mean sell the house and buy gold, but knowledge is profit. Absolutely true. We have seen what's been going on in the metals. We always say this all the time. If you like a stock, then you buy it at the 200-period moving average. In GLD, look where that bottom is. That's pretty clean. That is a massive bottoming tail candle into the 200-period. So it does make sense that you've made a bit of a curl. That's pretty much where you would want it to go. This is not this is a real move at 7. These wicks down here underneath 390, obviously it didn't go there. So that 390 did hold very, very well. It didn't actually get down exactly to 380, but it doesn't matter. A reversal is a reversal. And when you see these rounded bottoms or wipe out bottoms through key support levels, you can get another breakout. And if this trade starts to pile back in, whether it's gold or silver, look at how far we've pulled back. So sometimes you'd like to see it consolidate a bit, but I'm kind of with you. I think we've bounced off some pretty big levels. Like some kind of a wind down because of how parabolic it was, and that's not normal, needed to happen. And I think at least that has finally occurred. So now that you've gotten a little bit of that, it can be time to get back into some trend. Whether
Here we go. Market going lower here.
Gold or silver, both of the, or SLV, I should say, GLD and SLV, same thing. And don't ignore the miners.
How low did we
Because
just
a lot
get
of times
filled
what'll
there?
happen is you can allow gold to show that it's made a bottom,
65 and 61.
and then the miners can be the way to play the catch-up trade as well. Sometimes the lagging move on them can be fantastic on the back end. Let's go to Adair, and then maybe we get to this other super chat.
Interior Secretary Doug Burgum commenting in very, very broad and vague terms here on the potential deal with Iran, saying, quote, there is engagement with Iran about a possible solution going forward. So that gives very little detail as to what the solution would be if the talks are ongoing. But again, Secretary Doug Burgum, that's the U.S. Interior Secretary, saying that there is some kind of quote-unquote engagement between the U.S. and Iran right now. Also, Burgum saying that the U.S. needs energy for their territories and that the Alaska LNG project will get done. Back to you.
Yeah. We're working on Fabian's got. See, we've got a little custom poll setup situation here. So we just got to. I can put it in, and then it's very, very easy for us to do it. But we forgot one thing here. There's no question spot. So I can just put in here Tesla, NVIDIA, whatever. And then you guys or I can put in here like pizza or hot dogs, and you guys just
if you
vote.
vote the options for
okay, here we go.
You have to guess what the question might be.
Right. Pizza is option 1, or hot dogs is option 2. So you just vote. Oops, put a capital here. You just vote then for whatever one of these you want. Okay, there it goes. Start voting. So if you type in 1 in the chat, this will start to blast up. And if you type in 2 in the chat, then this will go. And you could do that both on Instagram or on anywhere we are right now. TikTok, Twitter, anything. Yeah.
Leave that one up.
There we go.
And how about this? I will eat whichever.
Wow, pizza.
On opening day on Friday for the Jays, I'm going to eat whichever one you guys say.
Well, it's
so
going to be
whichever
pizza.
one wins the poll, I'll have to.
Oh well,
on,
I think hot dogs.
Please vote for hot dogs, everybody.
I'm gonna go number 2 right now.
I'd rather have a dog at the game.
There, I voted for you as well.
So thank you. I'm gonna probably go in there and vote for 2.
Yeah.
Myself as many times as
pizza
possible.
there. But anyways, pretty cool thing there. So thanks, Fabian. We'll get that all. We'll get that all figured out, and then we'll be able to show you, like you see in the chat right now, like you don't really know what you're voting on. So we'll just keep on showing it to you, and then you can
hitting 2.
You can let us know right there. So okay, man. I mean, look, we got stopped out of our. Yeah, I did already. Yeah. Every platform, no matter where you're located, guys. Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. You can interact with that poll, and it will take all the votes that we've got right there. See, we've only been up right now for 70 seconds, and we already got 130 votes or so. So thank you so much for that, and we'll keep it going right now. And also, everybody that's mentioning symbols, we still have that too, right? The stock visualizer is still live, so that will happen, and I'll just keep that chat up, and then as it gets going, we'll figure out ways that we can show the question more. But it's just very, very simple. Pizza or hot dogs, and then whatever one wins that, Neil will eat said food on a Friday. But I thought it was Thursday, but you're saying it's Friday, so you would know better than I do. Okay.
I don't know. The Jays are Friday.
Yeah,
Jays. I'm sure
Jays.
there's other teams that are playing earlier.
Okay. Because there's always some of those. Isn't there always a game in Japan or something like that, or Brazil?
The weird
or
thing
something?
is, I don't think I've ever even eaten pizza at a baseball game. It's such a strange thing to eat at a game.
Yeah, it is one of the more common things there, too, right? There's pizza. You never really see hamburgers at baseball games.
Oh my goodness! Do you have,
but you definitely see hot dogs.
I'm in Florida, spring training. In Philly, Clearwater, and a grilled, oh my goodness.
With pineapple?
No, it wasn't
like grilled pineapple on a burger, I would think would be nice.
No, you get like a grouper sandwich.
Oh, grouper sandwich, okay.
Like blackened grouper sandwich at a baseball game. I'm telling you, they know.
When in Rome.
There's actual food items that are like what you'd want to eat in the region, which Toronto figure it out.
Like, we have crazy poutines available.
They've just started to introduce food in the stadium, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Adair, what do you have for us?
I was going to say, I feel like pretzels, like the soft pretzels, best stadium food. Hands down.
Okay,
Also my favorite mall snack. If you get me a soft pretzel, I am happy as a clam.
You also get, because you get the Dijon with that, you get some, are you a mustard? Okay, I was going to ask you.
The seeded mustard. So I don't want like a non-seeded mustard. If you get me like a nice seeded mustard.
Right.
Seeded, it's not mustard.
So wait a minute, it has to be seated or standing? Which one?
Seated.
Oh, seated.
Oh, that's a good one, Sean. I didn't get
Thank you, appreciate that. I'm back today and tomorrow a couple more times as well.
That was really delayed.
Yeah, that was pretty good though. Seated or standing?
I like that.
All right, back to the trade desk over here. So yeah, just watching out here. So we're still caught long in NVIDIA. I want to thank everybody for voting there. So actually, pizza, hot dog, we can even add more. I can even add pretzels to that list as well. But NVIDIA trying to make a downside play. I just want to say, like, the Nasdaq still holding out okay. I feel like we got a strong name here, but I'm going to wait for 176. If we break below 176, then we're going to get out of that one right here. More dad jokes to come, I promise you. What's up, Adair?
No way that UGRO.
Keep an eye here on oil. I've been seeing this headline for a couple of minutes. Not much of a move on oil, but I think like we should mention it here. CBS reporting that the Strait of Hormuz is now, quote, dotted with about a dozen Iranian mines. So again, I've been seeing this for a couple of minutes. Not much of a move in oil at all here as USO fairly stagnant, but I do think it is worth mentioning that CBS is reporting the Strait of Hormuz dotted with roughly a dozen mines, courtesy of Iran. Back to you.
Is that a lot? A dozen?
A dozen doesn't sound like. I don't know.
I mean, is it a baker's dozen? But like, I just think that's not. I mean, and I don't know how much damage. Like these tankards are huge. Like you're talking about millions of barrels and everything like that. Like I don't know if what one of those mines does to it, but hey, still dangerous, man. And I think if no one's taking that insurance, and we are waiting for that.
Still incredibly expensive.
Yeah, we're waiting for that Strait, of course, to open up. And as we talked about oil. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the short is still good, right? I mean, this is like, one of those pyramid type situations that you could have talked about when we talked about a little bit about that with OB and whatnot. And there was a couple trades last week. I think it might have been oil that we added to on the way down on pops, right? And if you're going to do a strategy like that, just find areas. That's the 50 period, the 50 period, the 50 period. So, and then once it breaks, understand that there will be times where you'll get wicked there. So you got to sort of discuss and decide to yourselves. Discuss it with yourself, that's what I do. And then figure out where the areas are to get stopped out. So watch out, you are coming back up to the 50 period moving average. We'll see what it wants to do. I'm still stuck here sitting on this NVIDIA trade because we got long, probably a little too early right there when we got excited that looked like the market was breaking. But at the end of the day, it's still all good. And we'll just have to wait to see what that next trade is. And so far, it looks like it's trying to be NVIDIA long for me. And then Neil's got Boyle. So at least we're on energy and we're on some tech names right here into the close. It's only 246.
Apparently we should have been on this UGRO.
Yeah, you were saying that was...
It's so wild. No, we literally had this on the rundown. And you know what? Shout out to the viewers, man, because let's be real. You're the ones that had UGRO on this rundown because it's like the #2 name and it's constantly getting mentioned in the chat. And then all of a sudden, as we talk about it and throw it up there, it was at $4. It's at $6. Does it deserve to be at $6? With these small cap gappers, who knows? Ultimately, you're here to trade them. Sharif has the line that I love this line. They're here for a good time, not a long time. So you have your fun trading them. It's all about the momentum. The momentum is real. The story was about the IPL. They got some kind of a partnership deal over there with the IPL, which is, again, gigantic league for cricket. And trust me when I tell you, it's absolutely massive. And this stock is going absolutely ham, and the short sellers are getting burned. So this is not something you want to stand in the way of. It's not something you want to fight. I have seen at least 3 times when I pulled it up, it seemingly had these huge spikes into what would have been the halt band and then just doesn't seem to want to actually halt. So it has traveled a significant percentage without any halts. At some point, if it continues this, I would expect you could see a trade halt on this bad boy. But yeah, good luck to anyone trading it so far. I'd say so good. So one of the things you were just mentioning, whoops, where did my trend line go? Oh, I drew it on my black chart. So there's a trend line from VWAP that I only drew for myself to see. I will rectify that problem by doing this and then throwing it up here. Here's your lower highs. And we talk about like wicks out. I got wicked out on one of those. So on that trend, I'm going to keep shorting it into the trend and maybe just give it a little bit more room above the trend line. But just shorting pops and Boyle is going to be the name of the game. We'll see. I mean, it's been trending down the entirety of the day. We have another super chat from Deep Cheeks AI. Okay, why not? Send Iran some Little Caesars. You will have them scrambling. End of the war tonight. Bet. So I take it you don't like Little Caesars.
Wasn't there...
I don't think I've had that Little Caesars.
Oh, yeah. Little Caesars? Yeah, with that little Roman guy there?
But I don't think I've ever eaten it.
I think you have.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely, I wouldn't.
Is this one of those, like, I've never had pie situations thing?
No, it's not like that.
Okay.
That's just built different when Joe says that.
Okay.
It's like middling, Little Caesars. I haven't had it in years, but it used to be like one of the big pizza places in Winnipeg. But I feel like a lot of Winnipeg is like, we have a lot of local pizzerias. So I grew up more around like our kind of local franchises than a lot of like, I didn't have pizza ever as a kid.
We had one near our
Never
hospital.
had pizza?
3-for-1 pizza. With a local joint. And let's just say like 3-for-1 pizza, you know what you're getting. The pizza was okay, but when you're
getting 3 of them.
You're a bunch of broke high school kids, and you're just trying to play some,
Trying to play some Monopoly.
Well, it was sometimes we were playing Monopoly, but then there was also that was like the GoldenEye days too. You get 3-for-1 pizza, get a couple extra controllers, and then that's what we would rock. Thank you, Nick W, for the super chat here. You're bullish on UiPath.
Why is that?
We've done a lot of this last week. A few people bullish on this, and have a core position currently, but you're looking to add. Well, so you're trying to accumulate. Where do you want to accumulate? All we can do is look at the chart. You're the one that's in a stock that's going. So, shout out to you for that. Here, I always start with the higher time frame first. Look at it on the week. Whoops. Whoa, what happened there? Looking at it on the weekly, I will not.
Come on, NVIDIA.
I mean, on a weekly chart, it looks like it's just starting to go. So looking to accumulate, you probably have lots of places.
Who was that? I want to know why. Why is it a core holding? That's all. I don't hate the stock.
Your support's off the 10. So unless it was breaking, I don't know, like to me, you accumulate off of the support level unless it's breaking a major moving average. It's underneath the 50. It's underneath the 200 period on the daily. So I haven't really found any places there to accumulate, but it's close enough to the support level. Everyone has their own risk to reward, but I've never been in a long-term position that I wasn't willing to give 20%. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a long-term position for me. But that's just me. And yeah, I'd love to know your thesis on UiPath. I believe it was, I keep saying it, and I'm pretty sure it was Mitch. And next time he comes on, we'll have to ask him about his thoughts on UiPath, because I'm sure it was him that said it last week.
Yeah, it's AI plays, there's a few things
I've never
happening.
Guys. I like that triple or quad bottom.
So I just want to say, again, very, very news driven, right? Obviously, this market. So NVIDIA just went into the money for us. It went up to 80s or 70. I mean, I didn't offer anything there. Basically went to flat. Let's call it that. 77, 78. I think I saw, for 1 second, it flashed green. So, and then it came right back in, but it was literally 1 second. We had spiked up, then when it came right back in. I don't really like that action there. I'd rather this not be so, and I know, whatever, gimme never gets, but it's I thought this was sort of just cruising up here because it was NVIDIA, and it was greater than the market. Obviously, I completely understand that if this market falls on its head here, or on its face, I should say, or head, I guess face is part of head, then you will, see this name obviously come back in. But I'd rather it just kind of start to drift higher here and not just hang around and wait for that next news story. So I'm starting to get a little bit antsy. Sometimes as a trader, if a trade doesn't, and look, we're up today. It was really good, man. We hit at one point on that oil trade. We're up 3 times our daily goal there, which was good. We've given it back when oil broke through back, and we're still have a good number here. But I don't want to lose too much on this trade, and we may give a lot of this back here. I don't know if we're going to break down below 176 here, but it doesn't look like NVIDIA is doing too much right here. And again, when it doesn't happen right away, there's always different areas where we can play, and it doesn't have to be right here with NVIDIA. Pizza, what's up, Adair?
What's up, Sean, is, not oil, but certainly some news with oil. Keep an eye here on USO and the market. We have now Israel's Hayom reporting that there is full U.S. and Israeli coordination in place with regards to a potential deal with Iran, but the odds of a deal with Iran actually remain low, and there have been no direct talks yet. So Hayom now reporting that U.S. and Israel are coordinating. They're looking for a deal, but very unlikely that they will be able to get a deal right now with Israel, as no direct talks have yet to, or any direct talks, have yet to take place. Keep an eye as well here on some of these minerals plays. I'll pull up TMC. You could also look at CRML here. Likely not too much of a move, but just be aware of some headline on watch here. U.S. Ambassador Puzder saying that U.S. and EU are nearing critical minerals deal to boost Western investment and counter Chinese market dominance. Back to you.
It's there are talks, there aren't talks.
I don't know how many talks.
We're all over the place here. Just be careful with that UGRO. Our Urban Grow Inc. the first red candle has been put in since this breakout, so I just want to alert anybody. I'm sure if you're trading this, I'm sure you must be watching and you saw it maybe fail that local high. So if it can't really beat out that next shoulder, could be in for the first pullback that it's seen in quite some time. I thought that if there was going to be any bullishness, that maybe Bitcoin could do something because we're holding that 70 and now 71,000. But it's barcode city there, so not much interest and just not really seeing it move at all. I was going to throw up my like the trade rate.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
the only thing that stands out, like, because when you see the names that are normal, like it does, if I see the SPY and NVIDIA and Palantir and Tesla, those are the names that you expect to see for the highest trade rate. When I see Netflix on there that actually will catch my interest because I don't expect to see Netflix there. So I would pop that one up, see if it looks interesting. ONDS, they had a piece of news. I believe ONDS made an acquisition this morning. You got Micron in here, AMD, but all names that you would expect to be able to see. So when I see Netflix, hey, Netflix up 2%. You know what should be interesting if we can sustain this move in the market? Remember what happened the last time Netflix tried to get to 100. So once everything's settled down with Netflix, I should always start with the higher. Once everything's settled down with this Warner Brothers Discovery take, we saw $100. And so if you were buying after that deal got settled, now all of a sudden they're not buying them and it's going to be Paramount Skydance, boom, you got your breakout. You went from 80 to 100, you did 20%. We have a chance to revisit. We're putting in that higher low. Netflix is looking pretty good. It's just going to have to run through this. So sorry to say, I like Netflix, love Netflix, own Netflix. But we see 95, 96 tomorrow. That's got to be a resistance short. You don't hold for a week without looking at resistance like this and thinking initially short side of the trade. So yeah, I love what's going on with Netflix, but I'll probably come in tomorrow thinking you got to fade this if we see 95, 96, something along those lines. So yeah, I mean, nothing crazy happening. Bitcoin, again, just kind of reloading, boil, and waiting for the next shoe to drop in here. And there is something worth paying attention to at the close. There weren't big imbalances this morning, but do remember, we did have the third Friday and big major index rebalancing at the close on Friday. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of residual with a few random names that might pop up here. So yeah, we'll keep our ear to the ground for that. At 3:30, we'll show you guys an early look.
I'm going to give a big shout out to my guy, Bravariel. Shout out to you, Bravariel. This guy is killing it over here on TikTok for us. So thanks for moderating this and telling everybody to hit the like and all that stuff right there. So he's giving some shout outs, but I'm going to shout you out over here, my guy. Thanks for keeping us, going here on TikTok. So everybody that's on TikTok, shout out to Bavaria. I want to thank him for all the hard work that's getting put forth over on that channel. Okay. It almost went again there, NVIDIA. Like we got to 72 there or something on that little move up and then just whacked right back down again. I'm not averaging this in until down here. So if we can get into the 20s, fine. I'm still okay trying to hold out for 176. I mean, I really do. Maybe I'm just being too positive, but I think there could be a run at the end of the day. I mean, look at the futures. Could we dip down? Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not punching out right now. We do have our low takes. If NVIDIA does get a little nasty, we could make a new low on the futures today. I don't think that's not going to happen. I mean, that's all the way down here. That's only, right now, that's only like 150 points away or so. I mean, we've seen the NASDAQ sneeze and have a mistake like that. So we'll wait to see if it comes back into that. I'm obviously not going to wait. I mean, our out on NVIDIA is 176, just hoping that we can hold some of these bids. Look, we came back in, we tested the 50, every time we bounced higher there. So I do think that there's a good chance that we could get going here on a lack of news and maybe some positivity can help us into tomorrow too, right? I mean, remember, tomorrow is a brand new day and who knows what's gonna happen overnight, but we are hearing some kind of good talk there. I mean, we went to bed yesterday with the futures down again. I mean, I even woke up, we were down 1% only to come in and see us up 2.25, right? So I still think there's some upside there to go on NVIDIA. Unfortunately, we're kind of just stuck right here with it moving just a bit sideways. All right, CL, we said what it was, M contracts was good to go there, June. That's done 286,000 contracts so far. J is April, JK might be the one that we're looking at. JK, there it is. K would be May. So let me just have a quick little look here. Yeah, so May. So that's the one we're obviously dealing with right now. So 550,000. So here's the current price that we're dealing with, 87.50. As we've already got the close on NYMEX. So right now you're in after hours over there as the electronic trading continues. But the NYMEX floor has closed at 230. So that's where you get a little bit of a volume spike. But these days, generally oil will be pretty dead after 230, but obviously still going as we wait more and more news, and that won't sleep. So USO could be a trade, and there comes NVIDIA again, up to 72 and change. Oh boy, what do we want to do? Do we want to get out of this or not? Who knows? But right now, NVIDIA just trying to figure it out. Let me take a little bit off. I hate to do that, but if we get back up to 75, I'm just going to take a little bit off. We can, forget it. Let's just wait. Let's just wait to see if it goes, man. Because if I take a little off and it goes, I'll be like, why did we do that? We waited for an hour. So, but anyways, just getting a little nervous about that position. So if you guys can't tell, thinking about it, that is for sure. Neil's got Boyle. And then one more before I throw over to him as we got something to talk about.
Power hour.
Yeah, exactly. Power hour. This would have been the right one. I mean, instead of looking at NVIDIA, we definitely should have looked at Palantir. Palantir up 6.5%. If I had taken NVIDIA the same time we took Palantir was right here on 215. You're already up about $1. So it looks like we picked the wrong one. Palantir up 6.5% and getting higher right now. But we'll go over to Neil, and hopefully when we get back, this market's a little higher than where we are.
In a world where volatility creates movement and sophisticated traders want that movement to create opportunity, you've got Beta Pro by Globex offering Canada's first and longest running suite of leveraged and inverse ETFs, and they're built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and the importance of precision. Its triple leveraged bull and 3x bear ETFs tied to the NASDAQ 100 index are designed for daily tactical trades, providing amplified daily exposure and giving traders tools to engage with both upward momentum and market pullbacks. These strategies are currency hedged, seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian loonie. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your individual strategy objectives and risk profile. So trade tactically and learn more at betapro.ca. Scan that QR code you see right on front of you on screen for more. Before I get into some things, we have another super chat as well. I want to shout out to that. It's only 3 o'clock. There's already a few names in here that are over 1 million shares, and by a few I mean a lot. So it's not quite Friday, but we're 50 minutes from the imbalance, and there's a bunch of names over 1 million on the early look. One of them, CDE, which is a mining company. It is an upweight on the Russell index. So on the Russell, which is obviously it's not the biggest market in the world, but the Russell 2000, I believe this one is. Yeah, it's a Russell 2000. A buy of 5.8 million early. Sunbee 4.8, Canview 4.2. UGRO that's from the morning, as you can see. Obi's BW is a 3.8 million sell. That's worth watching. ABEV 1.9 million early look buy. You already have BM&R with a 1.6 million buy. There's a bunch of names already on here. Joby with a sell of 1 million. So I'm expecting we are going to see some decent size imbalances this afternoon. And who knows, but they don't have to come out at 350 as large. But if I see some of those start to grow, we might take some shots. We get that RITM on Friday. Just to give you an idea before we get to that super chat, if you're tuning in for the first time, some of these names on Friday, like this name in particular, the biggest imbalance on Friday was RITM. It was like 40 million shares. And it was down here at about $8.45 when we first reported that number. You could get the long as it was breaking the trend and ended up closing a good 25, 30 cents higher. And that was the biggest imbalance by share size. And it was at the low of the day, so you had an opportunity. That's why we try to give you guys that information, just because it's real. And it doesn't mean it always goes, but sometimes it does. Let's throw up that super chat, because I'm pretty sure I saw it. If we can, Andre, or I'll maybe try to get it myself. If you want, I can get it. Oh, there we go. It's from Ankit. The cues to the downside, April 9th could end higher.
April.
So
cues to the downside for now, and then April 9th?
April 9th could head higher.
April 9th is the date, right, that he had set?
It was such an arbitrary. I don't know. They sort of just pulled that one. I don't know where it came from, this April 9th. Adair?
It's not all that arbitrary,
2 weeks.
Just because of the fact that last year's President Trump post about, today is a good day to buy the market, and then, second best NASDAQ day ever, that was April 9th last year. So people are saying that this is very interesting, that April 9th is the date we're hearing this year for the conflict to potentially end. Again, this is just according to reports. Nothing has been confirmed, but it would kind of align with that 4 to 6 week time frame they gave us initially.
I mean,
it's so weird.
It is a Thursday. It's a Thursday.
Okay.
You know how President Trump like picks these random things. I thought that might have been tariff, the day that he held up that placard, which was also, I believe, in April.
Don't be rude.
Liberation Day, that's the day it's called there. So don't be rude, everybody, and always say thank you to Adair.
Thank you very much, Adair.
That's the one.
Yeah, so there you go. So there you go, Trump. You got it right that time. All right.
The market would wait, though.
No, I mean, that's just such a random date. I don't know what is he wrong. Just gonna like pen a letter to them and say like, oh, it's April 9th. Let's be friends. I just don't know if that's what's gonna wind up happening over there. It's not Valentine's Day or anything. All right, so we'll wait for it. I think thanks for the super chat. My opinion there is probably earlier than that. I mean, we got some really good talk today, and I don't know if if we look at the triple Qs here, we can look at the SPY. Maybe that's a little bit better than the Nasdaq itself. I'm always thinking Nasdaq. The market's coming back in right now, and it's more just like NVIDIA's coming back in. Everything else kind of just hanging out here. The Nasdaq's not doing a whole heck of a lot. We're probably just going to get stopped out of this NVIDIA trade, it looks like, breaking through 176. I wanted to give it a little bit more room just in case like all this stuff was about to happen. There's a 5-minute look on. I actually want to look at a daily chart on the SPY. So, we were saying a while ago, like, how come we're at highs? Like, there was a lot of problems going on. Since then, we've kind of corrected a lot back in. And not often do you see the futures, the S&P 500 break through your 200 period moving average. I mean, if you go through it, it's probably only happened a handful of times every year, and that's on like major corrections. As you can see, like this goes all the way back, and we probably have a successful thing until this little dip down here in middle of summer of October, summer of 23, which is right there. I guess it's October. And even then it looks like we're still gonna hold the 200 period. Yeah, pretty good there as well, just like little small dips, right? So the only time that we're seeing anything of danger here is, okay, there it is. That's what we were looking at right here. Summer, I was thinking of 22, my bad. We were well under that. But there it is. Since we've been watching it, it's been sort of a nice climb higher. And the market does like the 200 period moving average. Once we break it, that's where you get that trend change. So right there, this is kind of the problem, is we have broken it right there. And even when we broke it right here, that was March 6th. That day was April 2nd. That Adair had mentioned, which was right into here. And that gave us 3 or 4 down days. And then the 9th happened. And then it was off to the races till we break it again. But ever since that first break right there, March 7th. So we're talking like these are historical, like these matter because, again, like we got to look at, this is only a year ago. So the market does have memory there. We didn't really break it back again, right? And so that's part of the problem here as the way I'm looking at this with the SPY. There's the break. It came back up and held it, and then we tanked. The only time we broke it looks like on a gap higher, and then was off to the races. So we kind of got to hold, like that what I'm trying to get at here is 660 on the SPY is a level that we kind of got to hold and stay above in order to sort of uncreate this from happening again. Right, where we have like almost like a doji star. We made the highs, and then we came cracking back lower again. And this might be like a whoopsie moment today where, we got going again there. Good try, Trump, and then right back down. But President Trump can't obviously control the markets. Just trying to control the oil space right now.
Well,
and that seems. Well, not really. I mean, he's been trying. Yeah, he's been trying this whole time. To let people know that this was, a war that was going to be won and be short-lived, right? I mean, if it was going to be a short-lived war, then I'm pretty sure we shouldn't be experiencing this kind of a move down.
But to show you the uncertainty,
so much uncertainty.
Like this morning, when I sat down this morning, I'm not making this up. If you had pulled out the Fed tool and looked at December, you saw a 60%. It was between 50 and 60% chance that rates would be higher at the end of the year. That's down to 12. So that went from between 50 to 60% to 12 in just a matter of hours.
Right.
which is crazy. We had a chance, if you just go to April, we were at like a 16% chance that there was a rate hike in the next in the next meeting in April, which is crazy. Like no one was thinking that a month and a half ago, and that actually got pulled back, and so that's cut in half as well. So it's just like the volatility and the uncertainty is abound there. I was incredibly shocked. When I saw that number, like that's probably the one thing when I sat down this morning that probably shocked me the most was, are we really sitting thinking rates are going up? We were pricing in a couple of cuts just a couple months ago, and when I came in on the train, people are thinking that we're going to have a rate hike by the end of the year, and that's turned around. So I think some of the bullish sentiment's starting to come back, but this actually started on Wednesday with the Fed.
Right.
It really started this whole possibility that rates could be higher by the end of the year. It started with Jerome, and you saw when you were here with us on Wednesday, you saw what the market was doing. It was just trend down, and Powell wasn't really doing anything to make that feel any better. So I don't know that narrative has completely changed, because you would actually have to see if the Strait's not opened up, you can talk all you want. There's some, again, it's
cheap.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Talk is absolutely cheap. And we're not out of the woods yet. Things could get very hairy if we come back and all of a sudden it's close to that April 9th and nothing has changed. You could see the VIX at 35, 40, 35, 45, 45, 50, 55, 60.
Yeah,
and
you could.
DJ Moore has scored his 25th touchdown for the Buffalo Bills. Like, that's the kind of thing that we could see.
In his fourth year, or how many years before he gets 25? Oh, this year, 20.
I'm a gigantic homer.
Yeah, no, really? Okay.
The dumbest, I'll tell you right now, in both of my leagues, the dumbest thing I've ever seen is in both my leagues, I'm trying to get DJ Moore as a Buffalo Bills wide receiver. I'm a Buffalo Bills homer. He got traded to the Buffalo Bills. And both the guys that I've tried to get him off of me, it's like, you can take advantage of me in fantasy by just trading me the hot Buffalo Bill. You will get a premium. It's free money. It's like an arbitrage trade. If someone's telling you that you can buy ASML in the US and sell it in Amsterdam and make a quick couple of points, you just do it. But these guys won't sell. I'm trying to overpay and they won't even do it. It's like, you guys don't know what's going on. I'm an idiot. I'm a homer. I'll pay your price. Let's go to it.
You got to overpay more.
Just be aware here. USO on watch as we get some comments from Central Command or CENTCOM out in the U.S. They're saying the U.S. has damaged or destroyed over 140 Iranian vessels and struck over 9,000 targets in what they are calling the Iran war. So just, again, CENTCOM or Central Command from the U.S. commenting here on, I guess, the damage that's been done so far in, again, what they're terming the Iran war. Back to you.
Have you seen USO? Like, what is...
Yeah,
we've not done this. It's so weird. Like, it's
well,
still
that's why I'm watching these futures.
Still technically in a downtrend, but we're just not moving. And this might be one of those afternoons where there was so much volatility lately, and certainly so much volatility at the close on Friday, that it could just be a chop fest. I'm happy for everyone that's in UGRO. I'll tell you that much, because like it gets actually going. I cannot believe this. It could retest some of those highs. As we speak, and I was wrong. It still won't halt. Like, all these moves, there hasn't been any crazy move that's really messing you up too big. But it just still has this $6.50 level. Somebody seems to be in control on UGRO, selling 650s. If they bust through that seller, then it's probably game over, I think. But somebody's loading up some shorts. That's how it works with these small cappers, right? Like, these big firms, what they want to do is they know that most of the time you have a stock like this, they can just fade into this and sell. Oh, I'm short at 350 and it went to 4, I sell more at 4 because I'm a big hedge fund with billions of dollars. It goes up to 450, we just sell some more because eventually it's going to do this. Well, that's what they're doing today on day one, hoping that they will be right. And believe me, it's hoping, because every now and then one of these lasts for a while, and then they get HKD'd. And you can see it happen, but somebody is probably trying to get in at 650 on their sell position. So that, like, remember that price, because maybe if we don't break it today, you come back and look at this thing tomorrow or Wednesday, and it busts through and has buyers and closes above 650 on any reasonable time frame. Then you could see it start to go. But someone's really loading up in here.
Oh, this is the thing. Like NVIDIA, I mean, I'm just going to talk about this position because it's the only one I'm in, and then we can go over. I'll start talking about what's maybe on the visualizer and whatnot. But like NVIDIA, it's not like it's doing little volume here. It's trying to go. You know, it's 315 right now. I just don't know if it's trying to go lower. I did pick up a little small. I mean, my average price was 78. Now it's 74. I didn't really pick up too much there on the 50 period moving average. But I'm trying to get out. I was just. It's funny because I don't know if it's just seeing my orders and running away because they're not huge orders. So I don't really understand the problem. But I'm at 65. It went to 64 and stopped. So I'm still there. And then I was also at 68. So I'm just trying to, if we do have one more little run up, I am trying to get out of like 15 or so % just to ease a little bit of the pain. But I mean, I still want to be in this for the long. I'm just really not convinced anymore that the futures want to do anything. Really barcoding. And if anything right now, you're getting that flagpole up and then you're getting, you know, like a little bit, whoa, these things are hard to use for sure. Right into there. And then if we're going to go the other way, you're trying to build it. Whoa, right into there a little bit, then the upside. So it looks like you're trying to break right now down below. So I'm obviously sitting here a little nervous hands with this trade on NVIDIA because it does look like it's trying to break a little lower. We can see, let me see what's going on with AMD here. I'm still waiting for O's. So, I mean, if it breaks, we could actually, maybe we should just adjust that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if it breaks 176, we're going to get out anyways. AMD, kind of the same kind of thing right now. Did give me an opportunity to get out there if you were trading AMD around 3 o'clock. But then it's just been straight down. So, okay, here we go. Now are we doing something here, futures? There's a little bit of a bump up there again, and it, of course, completely stops. I just saw the futures starting to run there a bit, so maybe we do get out eventually. Remember, we're at 64 and 68 to get a piece out over there if that winds up happening for us as well. But yeah, everyone's saying, look, I can't put on straddles or anything right now. There's not much I can do. I could go short the market and hedge against this NVIDIA trade, but I don't necessarily want to do that. We were short the TQs right there. We got stopped out when it broke higher, and that's when I started to go long NVIDIA around 230, and not much has been happening since. We're going to need to obviously hold VWAP right now on the TQs, and if that happens, then we should have some more upside surprises here, hopefully, for NVIDIA, but for right now, not holding. A strong dollar, a weak dollar would be good. Maybe we can go over, have a look at that. That's gold right there. Here's a DXY, so yeah, getting stronger. I don't like that. Maybe if we can get a little weaker, that should help in NVIDIA. But you know, that's just like the macro playbook there. I don't know if that's actually what's been happening today. USO and the dollar probably matching in opposite ways.
It's very similar.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's basically the Boyle chart. It's basically the USO chart.
Yeah, so
it's also the VIX probably looks.
I mean, here's USO. Well, whatever.
It's close.
I shouldn't be calling up. Yeah, it's close enough. There's the move down, and we're trying to get back higher. So oil and the dollar trying to go higher. It's not going to be great for some of these tech names. So yeah, we'll watch out there. Oil and the dollar both trying to go a little northbound there. Yeah, it's not going to be good for. There it is. Look at that. We take a look at that. Trying to take higher right now. So. Yeah, so what's up with that? NVIDIA is going higher, and look at gold. So yeah, everything's actually like textbooking pretty good now, but there's the downside on gold. Gold actually got close to positive maybe there, eh? 410, 415. Yeah, 415 is kind of where we closed at. And remember, this is not, I'm just talking about the open market here. Obviously, gold will trade after hours, but 415, we bounced off of that. That was Friday's close and right into there again. All right, man, NVIDIA is making its moves lower as we speak. So get ready to go here. We didn't pick up an average down there. We were bidding 21s, and how low did we go? Probably 23s would make sense. No, 30s. So we're still going to bid into here, into the 20s. Maybe let's go a little lower as VWAP is, the 200 periods come upside a little bit here for our good friend NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm going to bid a little lower. I don't necessarily want to average in right here. If we're going to drip down, let's get a good price, man. Let's get maybe let's get 176. We're still trying to hold it against here, 175.90. So yeah, the market's coming down against me here. I'm not too happy with this position, needless to say. But
well, it's that going down is bringing energy's slowly going up, so it's basically tit for tat there. But there is a name going down that I might like. That's that CDE. It's the largest imbalance. Remember, this is an upweight on the Russell 2000 tonight. So early look, 6 million to buy, and it's doing what I want to see. The biggest buy on Friday, you could get it off a support level at 3. It was close to 330. So I'm kind of hoping it drifts all the way down and support here at 17.5 is still a gigantic imbalance. to the buy side, and then you can buy it going into that 350. So if it pops in, it's because I'm looking to pick this up on the low, around 17.5. And of course, assuming, and we'll keep track of this, that number doesn't dwindle. As long as it stays at 6 or grows, good. If it gets smaller, bad. And I won't be on the bid. Let's go to Adair. We've got 30 minutes till imbalances.
Just keep an eye here on some of these Mag 7 or big tech names, including Apple. Maybe look at Google as well. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the UK, saying that he will not be hesitating to introduce new CMA targeted powers. So CMA, of course, is this Markets Act that has been mostly targeted or used against a lot of these Mag 7 names, or rather, there's been a lot of talk that it could be used against some of these Mag 7 big tech plays. We know we talk a lot here in the midday about how the EU and the UK use some of these acts against some of these American tech companies. So with Keir Starmer saying that the UK is not going to hesitate to introduce new CMA targeted powers, it is worth keeping an eye on some of these Mag 7 tech plays. Back to you.
Thank you, as usual, Adair. And speaking of those tech plays, there's a few that, you know what, we haven't really talked too much about some of the positive things that have been going on. Hey, have a look at Apple. What's that line that we're always talking about? It begins with 200 and ends in Iriad. Oh, that's right. It's a 200-period moving average on the daily. Oh, that's Apple. Oh, did Apple bounce cleanly off that today? Oh, that's right. That's where the bid came into Apple, and it's now catching a nice little bid here, up 1.5%. Did it do much with it? No, but the market's not doing a heck of a lot. But this is what we're always talking about. It's these support levels. And then remember SoFi? Oh, yeah, Muddy Waters, the low of Muddy Waters, $16.5. Is that still the low now? Yes, it is. Tomorrow, it didn't happen today. I believe in this tomorrow. It has to happen tomorrow. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It's hold the low, and then we can go. That 1742 didn't break all day today. Came in this morning, I was like, yeah, break out that high, let's go. It went right to the top, didn't break. Tomorrow, I'm looking for a breakaway on SoFi. And I have no strong opinion one way or the other about the Muddy Waters report. I just simply have seen time and time again that if the local bottom, after a few days, on a short sell report, is still the first day, then you got to look for some kind of a breakout trade. Because what a short seller does is they take a position somewhere, right? And then they release their report so that they can make money. This is the reason we got in whenever it is that we got in, whenever it is that we got in, whenever it is that we got in. I'm just pointing to some obvious places that they might have. I don't know for sure what Muddy Waters did. Congratulations to them. It worked. Whether they're right or not doesn't really matter for them because they've made their money. But once you start breaking out some of these levels, there's relief rally time here for SoFi. So I'm still looking 1742 breakout. It just has to wait. It didn't do it today. It's a bit disappointing. It was set up really nicely when that was double top. Like at about right in the middle of the day, I'm like, oh, this is going to happen at lunch. Had the order all set up, and then 15 minutes later, the stock was back down 2%. So we're still waiting for that shot for SoFi to break out. Candidly, we should always say this. I own SoFi on my personal account. So I'll be happy if it does go to the upside. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to still take that day trade when it presents itself. Yeah, still 20 minutes here, 30 minutes till imbalances. Just not much happening. Even that UGRO stopped moving, Sean.
That one's going, yeah.
No, it stopped moving.
Oh, that stopped moving.
It's
You're just
still
looking at that
10, 15 minutes ago. It's the same level, and somebody is still selling 650 over and over again. Stock was, when we sat down and did the rundown, it was a $4 stock. It's basically ripping faces off, and then it's running to one, it looks like one level, and potentially one seller that just seems to be in control. Cool Brioche says AHMA is moving around. Mm-hmm. That was, what was this? I should remember this one. This is from a couple of weeks ago.
AHMA?
I'm trying to remember. This is
called Ambitions.
Yeah, but this is like the, congratulations to anyone that caught this one off the bottom, but this is like the example of the stock that I would not want to be long. If there's a definition, just looking at a chart of something I would not be trying to catch bottoms on. If you don't have it at $1, I don't know, it was at 8. See what happens when these unwind? It's probably halted down a dozen times today. It's bouncing now, but if you haven't paid for locates, it's a tricky one. I don't know that I would want the long in this. That's just a different ball game. Like look at this stock, look at the chart. It tells you everything you need to know. It's at fresh lows, completely fell off a cliff, And maybe you always get, sometimes you get these relief rallies or dead cat bounces. That's what looks like happening from the $2 level. But I don't know that I'd be hoping for some kind of home run on this. It'd be much more interesting if UGRO would go, because that's still kind of in an upward trend, and it hasn't fallen apart yet. It's just, in my opinion, a bit of a better look.
We did have, if you guys remember this morning, right off the open, I was talking about AeroVironment and saying, like, I thought this was a good dip buy opportunity, and boy, oh boy, has it been that for sure. I mean, it was south of $200. I mean, we were talking about how low it got, 194 on Friday, and I was like, what, 194? I didn't recognize that. But it got to 196, and I don't remember I mean, we were talking about it when it was down here, but look at that breaking the VWAP. It broke VWAP a couple times right off the open, but it's really since held this 200 period up to 210. So there that one goes, as we talked about, you know, some wartime strategies for investing, and, you know, maybe a drone maker might be something. And then we looked at Swarm as well. Yeah, exactly. Here it is, here. SRWM. Was that? No, SRWM. Yeah. Is that what it was? No. SRW? No, what was it? You guys have to tell me here. But anyways,
I don't remember.
Swarm. SWRM.
SWMR.
Okay, I mean, I almost got it there. I mean, that was close, man. Yeah, just a couple of fails over there, that's for sure. Hit some more fails on that one. But yeah, this was down 20% when we looked at it earlier today, and it seems like it's had a little bit of a bump up, I guess, into 29.30 or so. That's right. I was calling it Kyle Schwarber, but there's no M there. Nice move there, $29. Again, without doing, you know, the proper due diligence and this and that about a stock like this, I think it's in the right space. The problem was, I think its IPO price is like $5 or something, came out at 12, ripped all the way up, had some after hours squeezing action and whatnot involved with SWMR, and then it just got hit like they always do. And I think at this point, if you want to be an investor in some of these names, I went to AVAV and then we're going over here. I just think you might want to wait until you get back in. We saw a name, you know, like CRCL. It's too bad that I didn't. I was initially sitting on NVIDIA, by the way, at 20s, and I canceled that to wait lower because of the action, and we would have just got filled at 20s, and we would have probably been in the money now, but damn it. Circle did that sort of up and down move that, you know, a lot of us wait for if you're an investor in the name. Like, if you miss Circle early, it gets going real good, man. The first month was amazing. You opened up at 60, you go all the way to 300, and then you even come back in and you're like, oh, wow, this thing's over. But then no, it has round two, back up to 270, 280 there, and then whoosh, falls all the way down, cuts itself in half easily a couple times, maybe into a third. 300 down to 110, and then the move happens again, a little bit of a rebound back to the 50 period. Then we get lower than its IPO price, right, into the 50s, and then earnings come and shoot all the way back up to the upside. So there it goes, right there, Circle. Now trying to hold out in and around 120, as we talked about the Genius Act and things like that. For Circle and USDC and stable coins and whatnot, but Circle nicely moving upside right there. But I think that could what happened to Swarmer there. If we can come back into that $12 mark, just like we did here on Circle, that's maybe where it gets a little interesting again, down near some of those lows. Okay, NVIDIA's back to those 20s, so it's time to hold it or not there for NVDA.
Sarah?
Keep an eye here on USO and some of these oil names. Iran on state TV saying that the war is continuing until all sanctions against Iran are lifted. And furthermore, Supreme Leader, military advisor, so not the Supreme Leader of Iran, but the military advisor of the Supreme Leader, saying that damages to Iran must also be compensated. Kind of echoing some of these remarks we heard earlier with regards to Iran's conditions for these conflict ending. Back to you.
Until all sanctions are gone?
That's right.
Well, that's just obviously not happening.
No.
Yeah, all? I mean, okay. Someone asked ChatGPT, when was the last time there were no sanctions on Iran at all? Like, that's just so...
Well, they're never going to give up their...
No, of course.
The nuclear... They're never going to be able to have a nuclear program.
This just goes to show, like, this is why I'm surprised we're not seeing a little more volatility this afternoon, because... This is not going anywhere, and we're still. I feel like we're at this point where we're just like burned out from the headlines, and the market doesn't want to react to them anymore. It could just be that until there's something a little bit more definitive. Adair?
There have been multiple sets of sanctions on Iran starting in November 1979. This is just from the U.S. specifically. Lifted in 1981, reimposed in 1987, then expanded in 1995. Then a third set of sanctions were imposed in 2006. Looks like they've been on to some degree since 2006. So just kind of a brief history on a very long history of tensions between U.S. and Iran, specifically with sanctions, and that's just the U.S. Doesn't even cover other countries.
Okay, well, there we go. Always interesting, of course, when we're talking about Iran and sanctions and Iraq, and we've already sort of been through this. We had Desert Storm, Gulf War, and now it looks like we have something else happening right now. So we can still check on oil. NVIDIA tried to, I did buy a little bit there at 24s. It's trying to go, but doesn't mean that anything's going to happen with this. So we'll just wait to see what happens with NVIDIA. Hopefully it does get back up to the upside. And on all that talk right now, CL, what did I say, K? Oh, man, I'm going to keep on April, May. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, K. Just got to remember K. Not much going on right here at all. So just a quick little move there. Okay. All right, I'll just keep.
Can we throw the super chat up here from Easy Peasy? Easy Peasy's got one for Oracle. Oh, no, I'll get it. That's fine. If I can find it. Oh, thank you. Your 0.2%, Adair, Oracle, yet. So for everyone that's wondering, why are we asking Adair about Oracle? Because the Oracle of Oracle is Adair here. That's, you know what, to be honest, you could say pun not intended. That one just writes itself. Adair, is it time to buy Oracle yet? Up 3% today.
Okay, let me look at the daily chart. And I'm going to be real.
I don't hear her.
Sorry about that. I did not realize. I think, wrong little switch there.
You're fine now.
That's all good. Let's talk here about ORCL. Yeah, this daily chart does not scream buy to me, and I'm going to be really honest with you. I've said for a long time, and this is not financial advice, this is the product of way too much research that I spent time doing. I think my case with Oracle and with it being a short has been purely fundamental, and I've said that for a really long time. Therefore, there isn't going to be some kind of technical change that's going to really make me excited about this name. Maybe this 176 is maybe the one area where I'd be like, okay, this is decent looking right now. But honestly, I think 210 would probably be the hard line. Okay, there's some resistance there, some support there, then there's been resistance. Maybe 177, definitely 210. That being said, I would still want to see a massive fundamental shift, which I don't have for ORCL right now. They are still poised to not necessarily make that first year, the 2026 year of their massive cloud infrastructure guidance. If they can't make that cloud infrastructure guidance, my short thesis absolutely remains. And again, we're talking well over 100 billion for 2030. I still think that's kind of unfeasible. And I certainly don't think that the whole our main customer is OpenAI, which we may or may not still be doing these deals with. I don't think that situation helps them at all. So I know a lot of people say, oh, Adair hates Oracle. Adair is biased against Oracle. My bias is purely research-based. And I've done the research where I can stand on business when it comes to my position on ORCL, which again is not really technically based. So I do apologize. I'm easy peasy. I don't know if I helped you too much here. Thank you very much for your super chat and for your support for the show. And again, I'm always going to come at this just in the basis of my research. I owe it to you guys to be honest. I honestly don't think ORCL's out of the woods yet.
This is Jack B. Nimble in the chat just says, the day Adair is bullish on Oracle, I'm unsubscribing. Don't do that. Don't do that because sentiments change all the time. Nothing goes down forever. 100%. Well,
I can change my mind once they give me a reason to, but they haven't yet.
The funny thing
not
is,
allowed.
No, on the day that AMC bounces off $1, I literally say nothing can go down forever. And
well, yeah, there's lots of stuff.
we
have,
can.
Fisker went down forever until it got zero. Nikola, stocks can go to zero, but that won't be Oracle's situation.
Absolutely not.
As they may not be well capitalized, but if these build outs go, they're going to be there. So just a matter of you have to not like sort of what's been happening with the infrastructure and the data centers and all of that, and think that maybe CapEx is going to run out and they may have to go raise a little bit more capital. Apparently that's not the case now, but like we said, we'll keep getting that back and forth with Adair. So I did take a piece out there. I almost got the 50 period as well. I'm sitting up here at 45. We missed it by, again, another penny. This time we didn't miss this though. We didn't miss the 40s. I'm like literally at 40 and 45, and then trying to get a little bit more out here. And then I still want to hold. I just want to take some L's on this early position here because we don't want to lose our day just because NVIDIA decides to do this to us here at the end. It's funny because the futures here, when we're looking at the TQs or we're looking at the NASDAQ, this is the NASDAQ here. We did have a short, which looks like that would have been right if I just sort of had the hold forever strategy there. That's really barcoding right now, looking to maybe potentially get back to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at right here with NVIDIA. There you go. Give me 44, sorry. Sorry, what am I at? 45s, which is where the 50 period is. So there it is. Okay, good. Goes right through. Okay, 50s, here we go. So now we're starting to get going again. I'm still at 60s to try to get out of a piece right now. It's nice to see our net maturing up a little bit, although we are taking L's on this, so that's fine. You know, we don't have to be completely right. Our average price was 68s or something on this. We took an L already at 40s and then 45, so 20 and 25 cent hits so far here on NVIDIA, trying to hold out for an upside play, but there's only 20 minutes, right, until, and we got to go to Adair, I believe. There's only 20 minutes or so until these imbalances become public, and I don't know what's going to happen at that point, so I don't think we necessarily want to be digging into NVIDIA. If anything, it's looking lower right now for me, so we're starting to get out a little bit here. I just got out of, sorry to say it, but 20%. Hopefully it goes a little higher and we can get out of the rest. What's up, Adair?
I know I've given you guys a lot of Middle East headlines today, but this one actually quite significant. Wall Street Journal reporting as of a couple minutes ago that thousands of U.S. Marines are slated to arrive in the Middle East on Friday. That's according to two sources that are U.S. officials. Pentagon also reportedly ordering another Marine unit to Central Communications to depart in a few weeks. So it looks like we're going to get some Marines arriving in the Middle East. Furthermore, Wall Street Journal also adding that this arrival of these U.S. Marines will coincide with President Trump's Hormuz deadline. Now, again, that deadline initially was today at 7:44 p.m. Eastern. That's been extended as of 5 days from this morning. So it would be on Friday when these Marines will arrive.
Thank you, as always, Adair. So, look, that's one thing that got said last week, and if that's going to be still in play, it would be nice if there was, if that was going to end up not happening, but we knew this was going to be the case. I don't think it's going to be shocking anything. So you'll see CDE. That's this name here on the locator. Still 6 million. So there has been zero decrease. It hasn't gone up or down, this expected imbalance going into the close. There's only 15 minutes left, but much like that, shoot, I already forget the name of that stock from
Swarmer.
Friday. No. It was the imbalance on Friday. There was like a RV, whatever. It doesn't matter. There was a big imbalance at the same time going into it, and it went early, but waited for it to break this little downtrend from VWAP. Once it did, going to go long into the volume-weighted average price. The idea being to play it into 350, and Ideally, it does come out 6 million, 7 million, 8 million. Even bigger would be fantastic, but just to play the long going into that high. You're still, like, oil's not moving, so oil's just going sideways from here. So want to look at something on the locator. And that's the only name that really stood out. Actually, I shouldn't say that because that BW, Babcock and Wilcox. For some reason, it's...
Is that who the Jays are trading for?
It's a weird one. It does sound like it should be some kind of... It sounds like it should be a law firm, to be honest.
That's, yeah.
Babcock and Wilcox.
And, especially because there's the and there.
What would be... So it's a sell imbalance. I'd like this better if it was off the highs or at VWAP or something to fade off of. Fade to short back into. So I'd more look for this to be like a reversion play. Like it comes out as a sell, drives it down to the low, and then catch a bit of a flip. The difference is they're supposed to be, like CDE's an upweight on the Russell 2000. BW, I have no idea why. It could just be a random imbalance. But with a random imbalance, I'm usually thinking pair off. And with CDE, we are expecting it to be a bigger one. Grey Matter's saying, why RIP Obi, man? BW's been crushing for him.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? Like this is, look at this stock.
It's been a good one.
He's got it long in this competition. And I know it's not doing anything today, but shoot, pick any day. It doesn't matter when we made the picks. This is up from any point, I think. When do we make the picks? Somewhere back in here.
Jan 12th.
Oh my goodness! So he's got again $8. The stock is at $15 and still going. So it's been a fantastic one. Like there's nothing wrong with this stock. Now let's go to Adair.
Drop on Estee Lauder here. Financial Times reporting that Estee Lauder is nearing a deal to combine with Jean-Paul Gaultier owner Puig. So again, reportedly Estee Lauder going to be combining with Puig, the owner of Jean-Paul Gaultier. back to you.
Hey, Jean-Paul. All right, just so we're wondering, we'll put a little bit of negative money into our pocket right here, but take away some risk. So we did take some L's there on NVIDIA. Out of now 40% of it, you know, we did get that fill up there at 61 or 2. Now, hopefully we can get a nice bid going on to NVIDIA and we can make some profits. And just to let you know, my next offer is at 79 right up into here. If we can, that should be 75, not 79. I don't know why it's at 79. We'll have to change that. But here it comes up. I'm going to put an offer at 79. So here we go, man. Again, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you do hit that like and that subscribe and keep it going. Someone said, are we on Telegram? This Telegram is actually a video? I don't think it's a video thing, isn't it? I thought it was just like a messaging.
That's what I thought.
Little thing over there. But
I didn't know we could.
I would say no, but right now we are everywhere else, man. Any streaming program, go check it out. Type in Trader TV Live, and you should be able to see us there. Thank everybody on
Tell us, is there streaming
TikTok.
on Telegram? I don't know.
Is GME reports tomorrow morning, someone said in the chat? I didn't see that.
They also usually report post-market, so I don't necessarily buy that they'd be reporting pre-market. Chewy, which of course another
Right, Chewy is, yeah.
Brian Cohen, they're Wednesday morning before the bell. Infographics to come, guys.
So they are tomorrow, GameStop. Tomorrow, March 25th, after market close, confirmed on Benzinga. So that's what we're looking at. So tomorrow, confirmed tomorrow, it says confirmed
Tuesday.
After March 24th, aftermarket, on that one. And we can just go over and have a quick little look here. They did turn positive EPS, right? They've been positive EPS for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters in a row looking right now a positive EPS.
Good for them.
And then looking for 37 cents right there as well. So yeah, I think good for them and, you know, good for traders and shareholders of GameStop that have sort of held out hope that, you know, once again, you could moon through there. And
Estee Lauder is getting smoked on this headline.
So the only thing I could think about is there was buy rumors for them, and maybe this is not the right suit.
Yeah, that's the story. Like, I don't really know why the market hates this so much, but again, Estee Lauder reportedly nearing a deal to combine with Puig.
Well, because if there's buyout rumors, you're not like the market was probably not looking for a combination. They were probably looking for, oftentimes they want cash. Like they might have just wanted, when I say they, you know what I mean, like the price action and those invested were looking for there to be some kind of a bid, maybe cash and stock, which if it's just a straight combination, yikes, with terms not to be disclosed, that's not good. And Estee Lauder down 4% and still looking weak. It's still actually dropping off with only 20 minutes to go. You'll want to see some details, like who knows. This could, oftentimes the initial reaction to potential deals and rumors of them can be just way off. So I wouldn't completely write this off, but the initial reaction is the ball doesn't lie here. Estee Lauder headed to the downside. My first thought is always that I hear deal, I'm like expecting to pull up the stock and see it moving the upside. You just get accustomed to seeing that time and time again. CDE just grew to 12 million shares, so it looks like it is getting a little bit bigger. Nothing really else standing out here. ABEV still the same thing. CMG 1.3 million. Pinterest, well, that wasn't there before. 1.3 to the sell side for Pinterest.
These are all New York names.
They're all New York. You'll get in 8 minutes or 8.5 minutes, then you can start to see NASDAQ names. There's no early indication for the NASDAQ. If you think you can see it early, then let us know because as far as I know, you
I'd like to know.
We'd all love to know if you could, because that's where all the biggest stocks are over in the NASDAQ, right? The Mag 7. You'll see them populating in about 8 minutes, but for now, it's just that CDE stock. Hasn't really done a heck of a lot, but it's just the early look for now. Like, my anticipation is if it comes out that big buy, it pops up one time in the VWAP and Bob's your uncle. Or, I don't know. Bob's your uncle is such a weird thing.
I know. I'm lucky because I do have an Uncle Bob. But right into here for NVIDIA. Shout out to you, Uncle Bob. Yeah, right into here, 176. Just looking again at sort of the same levels there. I'm exiting it out. Right here. I mean, you just showed those imbalances. We know how this can run. I still have that offer at 75. You know, if that happens, that happens. I'm just going to keep the stop at 176 now. We are now out of enough of it that it's not going to be like, you know, a complete disaster if it does tank down. But I I don't apologize. We've been sitting here talking about this stock for a long time. I can't, if it's going to go sideways, it's going to go sideways. I mean, if anything, I've learned something here. I thought looking at that, you know, it being up 2+% into a market that was low, that NVIDIA might have been the one that if the market got going, it could get going as well. But it seems like it's still in the doghouse as we switch over to, you know, more positive names, up 6% with a Palantir, right? And as we look over at some of the names that you guys want us to look at here today as well, we already talked about that UGRO, so that's right there. That's one of the top ones. Tesla, if I go back and look at that, I have a feeling that that's probably...
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So making moves higher there as well. So kind of like no surprise there as we talk a little bit about what's going on with Tesla, Palantir. So some of these other names, maybe not as much SoFi, but definitely NVIDIA, I thought would have had a chance to get going as well. You just said maybe Tesla was going here a little bit in the afternoon.
I didn't mean it was moving. It's
no, but it's since
going up, and it's going up.
No, but I mean, yeah, no, that is exactly, pretty much exactly what I meant. I went long at right here, 220, 230 on NVIDIA. So yeah, I mean, a much better look was right here with Tesla. We would have already captured some of these levels and, you know, been sitting in a winner instead of just scalping out of a loser right now. Loser is what we have right now on NVIDIA. So yeah, Tesla's still working out 4 or 5 minutes now until we go. Maybe AMD, SMCI. We could check out my guy Marvell, one of my favorite stocks. Doesn't look like it's doing too much now, still up 3%. But yeah, Marvell's a good little look there. I really enjoy trading some Marvell, if you guys don't know that. But yeah, right now that's what we're looking at right there. And trying to find out what's going on with USO and oil, those names kind of just hovering around. Like, I just wish there was a little bit more to talk about. We still got the news in our ear. I'm not really hearing anything popping right now. Gold did get back to almost zero, as we talked about that, and now down 2% and trying to barcode. I still think we need to add some to our gold holdings. I'm very, very light. I hadn't bought any since 260 something, and even then it was like 1% or something of the portfolio. So that touched that level that we love today as well, your 200 period moving average. So Neil had a joke about the 200 period earlier, something that it starts in 200, ends in iriad. But that is your 200 period. Okay.
If you don't want to buy it there, you don't want to buy the stock. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I think even for gold, right? I mean, I haven't done enough work with it, but I think it's trading enough like a stock this last year for sure. There's NVIDIA. We'll just go bang because we get the level that we wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to be like super happy, you know, with some of the price action here on NVIDIA, but it does go back up, and we do clear out of some more shares there at 176.59. So we do wind up taking 10 cents on a little bit there. I'll tell you, we're not going to be gross. We're not going to be net positive unless this thing prints me at 80, and that's what we got to wait for now. I'm actually into only 30% left of this position, so you know, risk taken away from it right now on NVIDIA.
Yeah, and it looks like there's just no movement on Boyle. I give it up. Like, it shorted back into the prior low, doesn't do anything, does one move down from when we shorted. It just broke that local high. USO, look, there's USO. Like, it's slowly, slightly moving up. Which I'd say is the same thing Boyle's doing. So it's just down to this imbalance name, and nothing has changed. It went from 6 million to 12 million. It's still sitting at 12 million. BW still sell 3.8 million if you're interested in it. Manifest codes now. I like it. Just mentioned.
Same.
I like that name.
Yeah.
Just mentioned Oxy.
Okay.
See, this is what I think. I just saw someone in the chat say, "Has today not felt like the strongest weekday ever?" And not like weekdays in like, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, it's the NASDAQ is up 1.7%, but all of it was the initial move. And since then, it's been slowly grinding lower. Then you look at a chart like Oxy, like this is more like what I thought we expected the market was going to do today. Where you got, like, yeah, you get a relief rally, but then you buy the dip and you end up back at the highs. Like, that's what you want for a strong day. We're just not getting that secondary push the way that you would have expected with this positive headline. So I agree with that sentiment. I like Oxy. It looks pretty good for sure. Whoa, this thing just went up again. Now it's 17 million, but it's not really going from 6 million to 12 million to 18 million. And it just popped 5 pennies. I get it, VWAP's only at 15 cents away, but that just grew a second time on CDE, the imbalance, and it's just slightly going up, which just makes it all the more reason, I think, to take profit on this going into 350. If those kinds of jumps are only getting it to go slightly up, they might pair this one off in a hurry. And this has been sold off anyways going into these levels, but it's just the imbalance that we're working with, and that's public in 2 minutes. So, you know, if the shock of it going public doesn't get it to go to the upside, then what else will? So again, 2 minutes to go here. Oh, good one. Offbeat just asked, with the news on prediction markets being banned potentially, what are the thoughts on DKNG? You know what? My general thoughts are usually, if the reaction of the market is to sell positive news, I'm not usually a fan of that. So you gapped up, you spent all day long retracing almost the entirety of that move for DraftKings. I haven't checked Flutter, so I don't know what Flutter has done, but DraftKings is it's probably the same thing. I haven't looked, I only looked at DraftKings. But this trend has not abated in DraftKings. So yeah, I like good news. You know what I like even better? I like when you make a low, consolidate, and then break out. So breakout means over 26.5 and give me that 50-period moving average. I'm not trying to, on stocks and sentiment, I'm never trying to be long at the bottom. I'd rather be long off a higher low or ridiculously, like look at if it's an established bottom, like say Intel at 18, 19 bucks, that's one thing. But I'd much rather look for spots to be long when you're breaking out higher. So that's where I feel about DraftKings. Sentiment to me sometimes matters more than anything else. Now less than 1 minute to go till these imbalances.
There we go, 63s. Okay, good. Getting them now. All right, yeah, whoosh. Good move there as we were just getting out of a bunch of shares here on NVIDIA. And of course, again, into what is going to be an exciting close, I would think, for this market with only 10 seconds to go. I am now out of pretty much like 20% left here on NVIDIA. It'll be a losing trade here as we watch out for this name to go back to the upside. But man, I couldn't be honestly like pretty happy getting away from it. We'll still hold some of our day, that's for sure, as it's trying to go back upside with only now 20 seconds until these will populate, and then we'll be able to see what's going on with NVIDIA as the market's not doing a whole heck of a lot. Oh, PAP. I want to see what that one was doing there. Yeah, that was another one of those IPOs from a week or so ago. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. There's PayP20. What the heck? I actually didn't call this up knowing that it was up 25%, by the way.
Who knew?
Right there. Who knew? What is going on with NVIDIA, by the way, right now? Wow, big move downside. See, this is why you got to get some out. So thankfully, man, we'll throw our hands up in the air, but we won't wave them like we just don't care, because that was quite the move on NVIDIA, needless to say, as you guys can clearly
see it.
It must be a sell. I mean, I'm going to get stopped out here once this breaks through 170.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I had to scroll a bit.
Yeah, so
It's
boo.
a sell.
Yeah, so what can you do? You know, you play with heat and sometimes you get burned a little bit there. So at least our sort of the spidey senses were up a little bit as we realized that NVIDIA was making that pretty epic move down. I told you we only have 20%, so we're not even, look, we'll take an L on this last piece and we'll wind up losing on NVIDIA, but at the end of the day, that could have been epically worse if we had not taken something out. I always think that is the right thing to do. Heading into imbalances, regardless of what winds up happening to this position, I think you always got to take some out.
They're like coin flips.
Yeah, there's NVIDIA there with a sell. So like look at Amazon, boom, same kind of ways, right? Apple, probably same kind of way, right? So there you go. So, you know, it's like whatever stock you're looking at, you got to be careful.
Tesla dropped $2.
Yeah. So not a great imbalance there for your boy, needless to say. And looks like we are now just pennies away from getting stopped out, breaking through. There it is, breaking through O's again. So see you later right there. Not a great end of the day for me on NVIDIA. So it just comes right back down in. So sorry, that will be the biggest loser that I have today. And just because actually the only stock we're red on. What am I talking about? We're up on the Qs, we're up on USO, and now red on NVIDIA. That's too bad. That comes a buy and it's completely the other way, and we maybe get positive on it, but an L there holding in for NVIDIA. It's, you know what, honestly, I know I said that already, but at least we're able to get away from that. Thankfully, we didn't have that full boat. So lesson learned every day, trying to get a little smarter around here.
Yeah, and that CDE, it did come out a large imbalance, but unlike RITM on Friday, RITM was much better than this. When it was like 20 million to buy, it actually moved. This is barely moving. Like it went from like 1787 to like, 1787 to 1797. It's basically popped like 10 pennies. So I'd say this is pretty disappointing for a Russell 2000 ad and a rather large imbalance. It's 23 million paired, but it's 17 million to buy still, which is 40% of the day's volume. You would think it could pop into VWAP, but it's not going. I did not Pathic asked SMCI. I have not seen SMCI on the imbalance locator. I see ONDS as a buy of 1 million shares. What I can do is as quick as I can, maybe if I scroll. If you don't see, for SMCI, it does enough volume that if you don't see it over 1 million, it's probably not that big. Like Rigetti, 900,000. I could go alphabetically, but suffice to say, it's not that significant. If there is one, it's insignificant on SMCI. That being said, SMCI, for all that bad news, is going to end up closing up 5.5% today on SMCI. So the dead cat bounce hopefully has happened for anyone. I don't root it against anybody. I think it's a short till it's not, but we took one shot at it today, and I never hope that stocks go down for people. I think it's a risky name to be in, but at the same time, things have worked out if you went long at that bottom today. That SSR bounce was the better play than the short, realistically, any way you want to cut it. So we'll see. With about 2 minutes to go, unless this CDE jumps up and goes from 16 million to like 20-something million, my guess is you've probably gotten the move already. So I'll just take it off on the next available pop, and then we'll see what happens that last 5 minutes of the session. I am surprised at SMCI today. I'm glad we didn't try shorting it again.
Yeah, I was, oh man, that's too bad because just waiting, like this NVIDIA could turn around. Like I'm kind of thinking about punching long soon because at 355, you're gonna get a flip here most likely. I feel like they'll come in and buy this. The NASDAQ is not, the thing is there's a lot to flip around. Like there's NVIDIA, Apple, right, still going lower, and Amazon. They're all three right here. Big sells in the NASDAQ today, right? Intel was a buy, okay. But anyways, NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon, thinking, okay, I was gonna punch long at 176 if it did break with not too long to go here. It looks like we are trying to do that break right now, but here we go again. Let's wait to see. In just 20 seconds, we'll see if we get a flip and then maybe a punch long, but I don't know. That's gonna have to go. And you could see a complete, what I mean by a flip is that sell turns into a buy right here. So right here, this sell turns into a buy, and then it just rallies right through. So I'm gonna try to see if that happens and see if we can get long on 175, 176.10 break or so. And if it doesn't flip, fine, right there. No, it doesn't. Did it? No, it's still a sell. So I'm gonna actually, okay, well, we got into it. I'm gonna put an offer out and just get out right now of NVIDIA because that flip, we got in and got out right there. So really fast. It didn't flip. So the trigger hit through 176. We get out for flat there at the end. But yeah, it does not look like it wants to flip higher there. If this starts to pair off, you could see it. I was just thinking like, if that goes and it turns into a bid, then yeah, we can get right back upside. And then not a revenge trade, but try to make back what we lost there on that move back higher, but no flip for NVIDIA. If anything, it stayed a sell, so you're getting some downside there. Just quickly, Apple and Amazon both also stayed sells. So when the flip doesn't happen, the pressure continues to the downside. So that's why you saw me right away, in and out, same penny, boom, boom, boom. I think I might have lost 3 or 4 pennies, but in and out there again on NVIDIA. So yeah, well worth the risk, but the flip does not happen. Just going back to the lows again, and for everybody that had like FOMO, again, look, see, there's that break actually that we actually drew out right there, breakdown. But anyways, anybody that had FOMO that maybe the NASDAQ was gonna be up 2 or 3% today and you missed the bottom, well, you got half back. Right now, it looks like the NASDAQ will close about 1.3%, and the S&P 500, 1.2. So, just kind of another day right here in the Dow and the major markets as, yeah, we start to head now south side to the close.
Yeah, that's the imbalance one I was looking at. It just paired off half, so I just punched out. So it looks like it's on the way to pairing this one off.
CLK.
It was half, and now it's a little bit more than that. But back up to about 11 million shares. It went from 18 down to about 9, and now back up to 11. So it's starting to get paired, which is what you expect to happen. That's what they do with the imbalances. They're published so that you can actually see where the liquidity might be, and then people can take the other side. That's the idea going along with it. And I think, look, tomorrow SMCI is going to be interesting for me, but I don't want to forget I'm very surprised by what we saw with energy this afternoon. It's hard to get away from all the volatility we had intraday, and then all of a sudden like USO or XLE and Boyle and everything you were looking at, it didn't really do all that much. Yeah, we've slowly glided a little bit higher, But I just feel like that's a lot of coiling up to lull everybody into a false sense of security that, oh, no, we don't have to worry about volatility in the energy names. Now, we're not going to go ham. Like, we didn't do much at all. I expect this should still be the first. I still think it's the first place we look tomorrow. Could end up being wrong about that. I know for sure I'm going to pay attention to SoFi, and one name that did not get enough love today, well, it's almost certainly, it got some love, but not enough, would be Palantir. Because as much as we've been talking about the market not doing much and falling back because all the Mag 7 names were sell imbalances at the end of the day, Palantir popped to make a fresh high of the day here and is now up almost 7%. So that was very different from some of the other big cap tech names that we're watching. Stood out. There was they had news today, and I don't know, for some reason it just did not make the list. We could be testing that 200 period tomorrow here on Palantir, for sure. I don't know why I didn't want it on the list today. I think just thinking it was going to be all about energy.
And I think you're right. Thinking that is just, today we just did not run the gauntlet enough, unfortunately, with Palantir. And it was just one of those things. Like, I chose NVIDIA over it. We made the wrong choice there quite clearly, as we had talked about that over and over again. All right, so just the end of the day here with a little talk on oil, obviously. Lower, right? It looks like right here for oil into the close. A little higher, but down today. That's what we're talking about when we say lower. Down 10% today, but nice little rebound into the close for oil, but still not to VWAP yet, and we will continue to make a mark with this, as Neil just said, for tomorrow. NVIDIA downside. We had some talk there about, I wanted to see what SWMR? Yes, warmer. Okay, hopefully we don't forget that. What that was going to do in the close, down 28%. So that's getting a little nasty right there as well. And a quick little look on gold and the rest of them into the close, 404, so down 2% as well. Silver could be in for a rough ride as well at some point here. Up, though, today, up 1.6%. All right, man, what a great day it's been. We want to thank everybody for watching us over there on TikTok. And look, it wasn't that bad after all, right? You might have thought this weekend, some trouble could have happened. You come in today up 2%. Feels like right now, what did you say before? It feels like the strong down day?
It's like the strongest weekday ever.
Yeah.
Like we're up a bunch.
Thing is, I really think
we're closing at the lower end of the range though for most of the day, outside of the pre-market, right?
Yeah, I think if you weren't, I got to reset all of this because I have way too many marks on here. But yeah, I think that's right. Because there's the huge move that we had saw at 7 a.m. And basically, since then, it's kind of been,
it's a downtrend.
I would kind of agree with that. I mean, you do give some pretty good offers right here to go short. So that's 24/7. So we'll see if the NASDAQ can get back up to there. But yeah, man, ending. It's never good to end on the lows, but you're getting close, man. That's 24/3 right there. So, oh boy. All right, what about prediction for tomorrow's open? I say red.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't like the feel of this.
I can't say it feels good right
now. To
now.
me, the trend was down today. I know, outside of one spike up, the trend was down. So if the trend was down, I come in thinking short. I don't know.
I would actually short Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin did okay today, but still did not really have, unless I'm wrong, and it did have a little bit of a move down.
We couldn't break 71, really.
Right. So I think Bitcoin right here, this could be, like Neil was saying there, 71, like into here, could be a problem. Couldn't get going pretty much all day. And I think it had those high takes earlier. Yeah, and just like the futures, didn't close on the low, but somewhere around there. So I don't want to get added because if everyone's going to be like, oh, man, we're Bitcoin bulls or bears. But it just doesn't look that healthy right there. IBIT only up 0.6 today, of course. And that's a little hard to watch because it's from Friday. Okay, why don't we close this show out, man?
Yeah, we'll give a big shout out to all of our viewers across every single platform that we have, and we appreciate you. Thank you for all the messages, all the super chats. Big shout out to Joey Options, who's still here chilling out. Big shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Adair, always doing a fantastic. There's Joe. You know what? Joe's not wearing a toque. What? It's not cold in here today, Joe? He forgot his toque. The guy's always wearing a toque indoors, which is a strange look, but Fabian likes to do it.
I feel like he shaved his hair and now it's growing back faster. I might do that same thing over there.
Okay, I can confirm that does not work.
Rogaine over there?
That does not work. I shaved my head. It ain't growing back faster, bro. If anything, I think it's growing back slower.
I gotta figure it out, man. I gotta find the Joe and Sharif secret over there. What's going on in that midday show, man? You gotta share some of that stuff with me over here. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. Adair, glad to have you back. Obviously a busy day for Adair back there.
Happy to be back, guys.
All right, hey, there it is. And should be back tomorrow. We should all be back tomorrow in good health, hopefully, and good weather. So, all right, 4:02. I'm back at the rink again, man. It all
Nice.
it all doesn't stop, man. That's the one thing about hockey. It never, ever, ever, ever stops. And then baseball is getting going. I got the whole team snap
Friday's gonna be
thing, man. I did the math. Gia is pretty much going to be on the ice 3 times a week in the summer and on the field 5 times a week.
Are you going to the Scepters opener?
Tempo.
Opener. No, sorry.
No, I didn't buy Tempo tickets. We probably.
I
wish we had actually. We had an opportunity to get in on the ground there, and yeah. No, just.
Oh, that's
just
like
hockey.
there's a women's basketball team.
Yeah, WNBA. We got one there.
Daughters
So.
can do it too.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody. All right. Good show.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.
8 a.m.
Ciao. Thanks, Fabian. Andre.